waiting for the bus. Oh,
Now, you keep talking that shit about my fucking kid, and you annoying me and aggravating me, and I'm trying to enjoy my life.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Standing at the bus stop, sucking on a lollipop. Once she gets pumping, it's hard to make the hottie stop. Hottie stop, stop, stop.
You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. What up, what up, what up? Good morning and welcome back. I'm Jane, the plainest Jane, and on this channel, I provide serve in the form of Black news and celebrity updates. All right? We're back. It's been so long. Y'all just don't understand how much I have missed y'all. Like, I have missed y'all so much. All the times when I'm away handling my real life, it doesn't mean that I don't want to be here. I be missing the living crap out of y'all. So get on this bus. We've got much to discuss, as you can see by the title, as you can see by the thumbnail. Come on in. On your way in, listen, pay your fare. Just hit the thumbs up button, okay? Hit that thumbs up button, and that's how you pay to secure your seat on this bus, okay? There are lots of different ways you can support this stream. You can hit the thumbs up button, which is free. You can subscribe to the channel, which is free. You can share this video via social media, Twitter, Instagram, text message, your group chats, hell, Facebook, if you're still on there. And shout out to the people who are watching from Facebook. There are lots of different ways you can support this stream besides sending a Cash App. Cash Apps and super chats and joining the membership, appreciated, not required, okay? Not required. But all of the ways that you support my stream, whether you open your wallet or not, are so greatly appreciated, and they're all appreciated the same, okay? So come on in. Let me know what you had for breakfast and where you are watching from, okay? Also, shout out to my moderators. Shout out to all the channel members, okay? Shout out to all of y'all in the live chat right now. Now, what I need y'all to do for me, as a matter of fact, like on a serious tip, something I really need y'all to do, more than I need y'all to like the video and support the stream, do me a favor. Make sure that you have a good day on purpose. Okay, make sure you have a good day on purpose. It is so important. It's still early enough that regardless of if you feel like your day is going good or bad or just meh, you still have the time to have a good day on purpose. A good day is most certainly decision over circumstance. Okay, so just make sure you're having a good day. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, now what did y'all have for breakfast? I had a homemade sausage cheese McMuffin. Well, I call it a McMuffin, but you know, the English muffin. That's what I had for breakfast. And y'all know I'm here from Baltimore, Maryland. So let me know where y'all are watching from and what you had for breakfast. Boogie down Bronx, and you had coffee. I know that's right. Sometimes all you can have is something to drink. I have those Ensure shakes for times where I just like don't have time to make something to eat. South Carolina's in the building. Okay. Okay, somebody said I had toothpaste for breakfast. You know what? Shout out to King of Makeup, South Carolina. All right, so we have got to get into the show. I have a full show prepared for you all. Is it Giving Morning Show? Is it Giving Morning Show? Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Wake up. All right, it's kind of Giving Morning Show to me. Put a one in the chat if y'all would want to see a morning show from me, at least Monday through Friday. At least Monday through Friday. Do y'all think a morning show would be good? Put a one in the chat if so. I don't know. Okay. But we definitely have some things we need to get into. We've got some serious news, some sticky, ridiculous, viral, and trending news. And then we're going to get into some breaking news as well while we are here today. Okay. So y'all would like a morning show. I'm gonna see if I can make that happen, because lucky for me, I was able to negotiate. What you staring at? What you want? Child, I don't know what Leo, what you on already? Talk to the people. All right. Go on, get out the way now. We just got started. Okay? I know this little talkative cat like to come on here and steal the show because he think that this is all about him. All right? It's not all about you, buddy. It's not all about you. However, despite my furry son, all right, Leo, get down. Get down. It's not a thank you, because it's not a question. All he do is fuss at me all day. We fuss at each other all day long. Okay, that's all that happens. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make his own emoji for the memberships, and we are gonna be backstage later today. So as we get started, it's always important that you check the community tab, right? So check the community tab, especially in between live streams. I posted something on the community tab yesterday, and I asked y'all to guess whose book that was from, right? I asked y'all to guess that. A lot of y'all were guessing Will, Jada, TryThis. But the actual answer, I told y'all I was going to tell y'all in the next live stream. The actual answer to the question is Derrick Jaxn. Okay, so I won't waste your time reading it here right now, but just know, matter of fact, if you're on your phone, just go ahead and click the channel. You can still read it while you're watching this video. That excerpt from that book is from Derrick Jaxn's book. Okay, very interesting. Some people even guess Danae Jackson. I'm like, nah, Danae not that. She's not that tight. Okay, although I do think that they're similar but different. So I told y'all I was going to answer that question, and that is who. Well, now a couple of people answered it right, but most people are guessing TryThis, Will, and Jada. Wasn't any of them. Okay, so that's where that excerpt is from. Let me know if y'all would be interested in me maybe getting that book and reading it. It would be available for members only first, and then we would get into giving it to the regular public. Shout out to me and Lynn. Hey Jane, you look beautiful. Egypt in the building. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I do appreciate that. Or the super chat, should I say. So that is that. Okay. Who said Team Jackson was happening? So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to get started this morning, and I hope y'all are waking up in good spirits and good energy. I hope you've had some time to move around, give yourself a good stretch. Hopefully you done brushed your teeth already, okay? But yes, let's go ahead and get everybody woken up, right? Let's get everybody woken up. Wake up, okay? Let's get into this first story that I want to get into, and I really want to know where y'all land with it. I know where I land with it, and people who are very familiar with my channel, they know where I land with it as well. Okay, they know where I land with that as well. And let's go ahead and get into this. Listen, if you haven't already, just did your due diligence, support the channel, hit that thumbs up button. We got 100 people here and 64 likes, 120 people, 64 likes. Let's just hit the thumbs up button, drop some pancakes down below in the chat, and let's get this bus going. Matter of fact, before we get into the story, let's go ahead and well, you know what? I got to give people a chance to get in here first. It's been a while since I've been live, so the notifications ain't notificationing the way that they coulda, shoulda, would have been. And this is a different time for me to be live on a weekday, because luckily for me, I was able to negotiate working from home, baby. Working from home. So I'm able to give y'all some content throughout the day, which is so exciting for me. So exciting. So drop some pancakes, hit thumbs up, and let's get into this first story today. And I definitely want to know how y'all feel about this, stickies. All right.
Tried calling friends, nobody's picking up, so I just am gonna dump this here. It's the middle of the day, I completely understand, but I just had a really harrowing experience at work.
All right, so just to give a little bit of context, let's go ahead and read this. A person breaks down while venting about continuously being misgendered at work. All I'm asking for, they say, is for you to make an attempt to respect my gender identity. Let's continue with this.
I have this one coworker who simply refuses to use the correct pronouns for me. I've called her out every time she misgenders me, and she just is resigned to not change. And today just broke something in me. I just snapped. I ended up yelling at her after the third time she misgendered me, and within like 30 minutes, like, I use they, them pronouns. And she got so defensive. And I just started explaining to her, like, I'm sick and tired of this shit. Like, you need to at least make an attempt. And she popped off, got upset, got defensive. What are you gonna do about it? And I just said, I'm gonna be really hurt and sad. Like, that's all I can do about it. And the worst part is that at that point, my boss, who claims to be so woke and like happy and joyous and making a safe, positive environment for everybody, gangs up on me with her and says, like, this is, Carson, like, shut up, this is not the time for a political statement. And I was upset, rightfully so, but was trying to take such a level-headed approach to it of like, this is not a political statement. My identity is not a political statement. It's just my identity. All I'm asking you to do is respect that. And it really is within our own community that people have the most rampant transphobia. The coworker that refuses to use the correct pronouns for me claims to be bisexual, and she stands up and goes, when I came out as bisexual, everybody was mad at me. It's like, then why are you mad at the trans kid? Like, what? You want to inflict that same pain onto me? Why? It's so frustrating because then my boss spins it around as like I'm the one who's making a scene and is being like over emotional or oversensitive. And it's like, all I am asking is for you to make an attempt to try and respect my gender identity. And they're both just going at me like, this is not the time. We're trying our best. You should be compassionate and understanding. You should just accept it with love and move on. Like, it's so frustrating. I literally was shaking so hard. I just got up and left. I came to the beach. I didn't know what else to do. I was so mad. But this is just so hard. It's so hard to be out and be vocal about it. It's so hard to stand up for yourself because either you are a doormat or you're the bitch that like is over emotional and calls everybody out for their
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
You know, some people want to be oppressed so bad. People who were actually never oppressed historically. They want to be oppressed so bad. So bad. It's crazy. It's crazy. Someone said come out with a book club. You know what? I used to have a book club backstage on the old channel before I got deleted at 102,000 subscribers, but that's another story. You know, and the word woke bothers me in this context, right? And she says, it's not a political statement. It's just my identity, but it is. And especially when you use the term woke, my issue with the term woke in this context is the word has literally been stolen from us, Black folk, us niggas. Woke used to mean I'm not asleep anymore. I'm not programmed to Eurocentric beauty standards. I'm not going to just silently abide by what Massa and them say. And I'm going to rise up above this and do better for my people and my community and absolve ourselves and free ourselves from slavery, and not even just physical slavery, right? Because slavery is still around, right? We're still a slave to these name brands, and we're still programmed to have late rent payments, but buy $800 Gucci bag. So slavery is definitely physical and mental, right? And so woke used to be something for Black people to put up their fists and be black, y'all, and be black, y'all. And now all of a sudden woke has just, it's turned into a totally different thing, where it means that let's just let the whole rainbow gang run shit and be personally victimized by every person who is not living in delusion with them. To expect for people to call you plural when you're singular, to expect people to live in a land of delusion with you, is peak entitlement. And I'm sorry, baby, but life's tough. Go get a helmet. Go get a helmet. Everybody's not going to do it. Everybody's not going to do it. And it's difficult to try to reprogram yourself to see somebody and hear somebody that is feminine presenting, or either way, right? Feminine presenting with a feminine voice. You might have yourself a little haircut. And you might, but you still clearly come off as a female. And if people accidentally call you she or her, you know, day in and day out, you're going to get in the car and cry, make a video and act like you're a real victim of something. That is how you see yourself. Everybody else doesn't have to see you the way that you see you. And that was like, people can identify as any and everything in the world. Baby, I identify as rich. I mean, life's tough. Get a helmet. I'm sorry. And it sucks that I have to even, you know, agree with Candace Owens, but a broken clock is right twice a day, right? Because Candace Owens is definitely a tap dancing raccoon. Okay. However, her response to that young woman at that college campus, when that young woman said, how do you respond to the people who feel personally victimized by your presence today? Life's tough. Get a helmet. What do you mean you're personally victimized by me showing up here to speak? You could have made the decision to not show up. You want to debate people who are not a part of your community, and you want to argue with them, and you want to beat them down with it. And baby, no, everybody's not going to do that. Another person stood up and said, you think that I'm confused about my gender identity, but I'm not confused. And what do you have to say to that? And Candace is like, well, where's the question? This is a statement, baby. Okay, you think that you're not confused? That's a statement. You're giving a speech. Do you have a question for me? You wanted a moment. You want a moment to be the victim of something so bad, and you're not a victim for wanting to live your life the way that you want to live it. But the way in which you live your life and all the different programs and identities that y'all have, everybody else doesn't have to abide by that. Everybody doesn't have to abide by that. Unfortunately, a small amount of that community they've been given an inch and they've taken a mile. And they've taken a mile. Women's sports are in danger. Male sports are not in danger. You don't see women going trying to take over male sports because physically they can't. Biologically, they cannot beat men at their own sports. But men can beat women at their own sports. XX chromosomes can beat an XY chromosome at their own sport. And now we've got women fighting for our own sports in our own bathrooms, and it's freaking pathetic. It's pathetic. You want to be called they and them. That's really awkward to turn to one person and say, hey, or, you know, it's awkward. And it's going to take a long time for people to learn and understand that. And people are going to make mistakes along the way. They are. And some people are going to make mistakes along the way, and some people are flat out just not going to abide by your delusion. It's a bit delusional to be a woman and to expect people to not call you she, her when you're clearly a she, her, or you were born XY chromosome. That's it. That's it. Right, Leo? That's what I'm saying, right? Exactly. He know that even the cat knows. Shoot, even the cat knows. All right. So, you know, just trying to be oppressed for no reason is ridiculous. White people want to be black so bad that they said, you know what, black people are oppressed. Well, I want to be oppressed too. They want to wear braids. I want to wear braids too. They want to speak with the black scent. I want to speak with the black scent too. Make it make sense. It's just getting to be a bit too much. I'm sorry, I get the chromosomes confused every time, child. But y'all know what I'm saying. 'Cause you got to bring up the chromosomes because they get upset when you end up calling them a biological male or a woman. So I'm like, okay, let's break it down. Let's break it down to the chromosomes, child. Let's break it down to that. Okay. Nonetheless, all the male athletes lose competing with their own genders and turn to the female to win in sports. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. So shout out to Iron Will for sharing out the video on Twitter. I appreciate you so much for that. It means a lot. It means a lot. It means a lot. Now let's go ahead and get into our next story. And I hope y'all are having a good Wednesday so far. It is hump day. Will and Jada, it's just getting to be a bit much, child. It's getting to be a bit much. We're gonna get to them in a second. Let's get into some celebrity birthdays. Let's get into that. Let's get into some celebrity birthdays. All right. Now, what the world? As we get into these celebrity birthdays, and I ain't see a whole bunch of y'all comment what y'all had for breakfast. I ain't see a whole bunch of that. I'm gonna need to understand what did y'all eat breakfast? Did y'all skip breakfast? I used to skip breakfast all the time. All the time. But let's go ahead and get into these birthdays this morning, okay? So, like I said, I told you I had a really good show prepared for y'all. While y'all get ready and y'all work through y'all day, hopefully it helps you to get through your work day a bit better. So Sharon Leal is somebody that, honestly, my true introduction to Shannon Leal, this first woman here on the left, was the Tyler Perry films. Why Did I Get Married? So Why Did I Get Married and Why Did I Get Married To? And then I've seen her in other places since then, Boston Public. And then I had to think back and I'm like, okay, she was in Dreamgirls. She was also in This Christmas. She's 51 and actually her birthday was yesterday. See, listen, because I meant to give y'all a show yesterday. But I said, you know what, let me go out to Ulta, buy some makeup. Then I stopped at Red Lobster, had me a couple of biscuits. And girl, I got home and I passed out. I was tired as hell. So I didn't get to give y'all this show yesterday. So I just tweaked it a bit and updated some of the topics. So technically yesterday was her birthday. She's 51 years old. Wyclef is 54. Okay. As of yesterday, the day before yesterday, Terry Vaughn, and we know Wyclef is from the Fugees. And Terry Vaughn, the day before yesterday, she's 54. Now I know her for the most part from the Steve Harvey Show, from All of Us, from Meet the Browns, Greenleaf, Sister Act 2, and she was also on Friday, if some of you all remember. And then also the day before yesterday, we had Kim Wayans. Now, some people may or may not remember that the Wayans brothers do have a sister. And so this is Kim Wayans. Some of y'all might remember her from In Living Color. I believe it was 227. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, Low Down Dirty Shame. You can recognize this photo of her here in the Rollers, but you ain't heard that from me. She was always gossiping. But one role that I know a lot of people forget about when it comes to Kim Wayans, put a 2 in the chat if you remember In the House with LL Cool J as a sitcom. In the House with LL Cool J. She was in the House with LL Cool J, that sitcom. A lot of people don't remember that. They'll bring up Family Matters and all of the different shows from and 227 and just all the stuff. You know, The Jeffersons was a spinoff from that show with Archie Bunker. I can't remember the name of the show. They'll bring up all types of stuff, but a lot of people don't remember In the House. Now, LL Cool J was the main character. He was the star on In the House, and Kim Wayans was like a neighbor, somebody that was just infatuated with him. She wanted to be in a relationship with him so bad. But yes, I remember that show, and it was my joint. It was like In the House is one of those forgotten shows, just like Hanging with Mr. Cooper. So yeah, Around the Sister and The Smart Guy and Saved by the Bell and all those other shows. Yes, In the House was definitely one of the best shows for real. One of them sitcoms from back in the day. So yes, that is All in the Family. That's what it was. Yeah. The one that a lot of people don't even know that The Jeffersons was a spinoff from All in the Family, even though All in the Family was a predominantly white show. But George Jefferson had a cameo on there, and it turned into the spinoff that became The Jeffersons. So yeah, A Different World, right? All those different shows. Okay, so Quincy Jones produced In the House. Okay, it's on Max. I still watch it. Okay. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So those were some of the birthdays. And, you know, it's all about Black excellence, celebrating Black people, giving them their flowers, and people who have been in the industry for a really, really, really long time. So I wanted to bring attention to the celebrity birthdays, and basically make it a segment over here on what could become the morning show if enough people like it, want it, request it. We'll see how it goes and how it develops. If y'all don't like it, if it doesn't really perform well, then I may scrap it. I don't know. But yeah, that is where we are right now. Okay. So those are the birthdays. All right. And let's go ahead and get into our next part of our show. How you know about 227 and the Jeffersons? You young as hell. Bow Wow was your OG. Listen, don't come for me. Don't come for me. I sat up with my mother watching a lot of shows back in the day. My mother would be sitting up there watching Three's Company, MASH, Gilligan's Island, Bewitched, baby, you name it. I was sitting up there watching it with my mama on TV Land. Okay, shout out to the people who remember TV Land. All right, so I do know about those shows from back in the day because I was up, I was watching it. So yeah, absolutely. yes, Bow Wow is. Did he turn into a clown? Absolutely, but that's another thing for another day. But I'm still gonna have Bow Wow's back, although he be doing some clown stuff. All right. Yeah, rest in peace to Susan Summers. Now, here's what I really want to know. Here's what I really want to know about y'all. All right. Y'all know I talked about Tuby. I talked about Tuby not too long ago because they really did an extreme disservice to Shanquella Robinson. I mean, just this terrible, low budget, inaccurate, very assumptuous, kind of seemed like a skit. It was just in poor taste, no tact, no nothing. Right. So I'm not feeling Tuby for that reason. But you know what? Tuby continues to drop the ball. Okay. Tuby continues to drop the ball with their low budget productions. Let's take a look at this. And again, we got 200 people in the chat. We got 120 thumbs up. Do me a favor, hit that like button for me, please. Thank you.
I'm home. We can start fresh. Start our family. We're good. You waited for me, right?
Daddy, Mommy's calling you.
I know he told you I was looking for him, so who is that?
Chloe, what you doing here? Oh, I see you met my family.
Yo, chill.
Okay. So of all bitches you could have been with? Of all the bitches on earth, this is the bitch you gonna live with. This bitch right here.
Chloe, I ain't talked to you in 5 years. What you expect me to do?
Wait for me like you promised?
Sweetheart,
You promised!
Sweetheart, promises are made to be broken.
Yo! Chloe! What the fuck?
I'm just a kid.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Wait, I'm just a kid. Like, what is this? What is this mess? What is this mess? I cannot. Like, please help me understand. Y'all saw them little flash booms by the gun. You know what? Claudia Jordan, shout out to her. I assume that she couldn't have known that the editing was going to be that bad, Joe. Please. What the hell?
Chloe, I ain't talked to you in 5 years. What you expect me to do?
wait for me like you promised?
Sweetheart,
You promised!
Sweetheart, promises are made to be broken.
Yo! Chloe!
I'm just a kid.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Oh, this whenever I'm having a down moment, this thing lives rent-free in my head. I promise you, because what is this? I'm just, who wrote this? Like, this is horrible. What is this? Like, this is horrible. I cannot. I just can't. I can't. Claudia stated she didn't know the editing was going to be like that. I could tell by the video. I'm like, there's no way Claudia could have known that they was going to edit it and it was going to be this bad. Like, there is no way. Somebody said I'm going to the bush. We totally need to go to the bush for this, because this right here, it's not giving.
It was gone.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
If somebody don't go cut Tuby Wi-Fi off immediately, and I mean immediately, because this ain't it. This ain't it at all. At all, okay? There was no take 2, 3, or 42. Child, I can't. I can't with them. That was horrible. It was horrible. Everything about it was horrible. Now, y'all know Simone Biles has been really doing her thing. She really, really, really has. And look, I'm so proud of her. I mean, I feel like everybody's proud of her, right? But there is a group of people who flat out, they are not proud of Simone. As a matter of fact, they wish that she would stop being so great. But that's what happens. That's what happens when you're good at what you do. And you catch some people who are not Black, aka flower rangers, lice lieutenants, whatever you want to call them. They get upset. They get intimidated by your greatness. Now, before I get into elaborating upon this story, I want to go ahead and really just give Simone the praise that she deserves. She is the GOAT, okay? Now, Simone Biles, okay, is the most decorated gymnast of all time. She now has 34 medals across the world championships and Olympics, more than any other gymnast in the history of the sport. Okay? Okay. Can we give her a round of applause? Can we give her the round of applause that she absolutely deserves? Now, let's get into this foolishness. Let's get into this, okay? So there is a Russian gymnast coach who wants the rule changed after Simone Biles wins for the 6th time. Oh, is that so? I wonder why. Why does the rule have to be changed? Because Simone is doing so well and she's excelling at her dream and her goals. Well, let's get into this information. So this woman named Valentina, head coach of the Russian artistic gymnastics team, she expressed her dissatisfaction with Simone Biles' victory at the World Championships in Antwerp. Now, the American gymnast won gold in the team and individual all around, as well as silver on vault. And this flower ranger says, I want to express my regrets about Simone Biles' victory. What is gymnastics? It's scary to watch it. Do you think there's at least some kind of aesthetic there? Low? There's simply nothing to watch. She has no great performance. Talking about Simone. Simone Biles has no great performance, only difficulty. She only wins through difficulty. We will now submit these questions to the International Federation. What should prevail? Beauty and high level of performance while respecting the rules? Or will we only follow the path of complexity? So what will artistic gymnastics look like? Surprised with tips? That's a big question. Unfortunately, during these world championships, we did not see a single gymnast with a high level of performance. I can only imagine the Chinese on the uneven bars. Disappointment. So, long story short, in this mumbo jumbo word salad crap, all right, Russia wants the rules changed because Simone Biles can do things that their gymnasts can't do. And we've seen this before in the ice skating tournaments when the black folks can do double somersaults and cartwheels and land back down on their feet and go on, and then they ban the move because the flower arrangers can't get up to doing things of that stature. Now you want the rules changed because she's too good and your people can't compete? Baby, I don't think so. Baby, I don't think so. Not happening. Not happening. Absolutely not. Somebody in the chat says Russians don't like Americans, period. Well, child, I can't speak on that. But, you know, this is interesting. Child, go ahead and get up off my line. Won't you be quiet? Won't you be quiet?
Won't you be quiet? Please.
It's not happening. It's not happening at all. She's that great that they want to change the rules so that they want to lower the bar so that their little mediocre gymnasts can reach it. I don't think so. It's just like lowering your standards in the dating world. No, I'm not lowering my standards. Up your ante so that I can get what I want. No. No. Not happening. So, you know, that's it. Step your game up, salty pants. Y'all are messing this chat. So, not Flower Ranger. Oh, absolutely. Flower Ranger news. We got more Flower Ranger news coming up later in the show as well. So, tennis too. They did it in tennis. Yeah, we know Serena and Venus have been subjected to unfortunate discrimination. And also, I think one of the previous videos I did, because I think I was addressing the young man, which I have an update today, who they didn't allow him into school because of his locks. And that made me touch on another story of the wrestler who, in order for him to compete, they cut his hair right on the sidelines. They said, well, if you want to compete, go ahead to cut your hair. And he did it. And that's a form of humiliation, right? So anytime, and he still went on to win. He would have won with or without that hair. Black people in sports and just in competitive games in general are consistently handed out setbacks that Flower Rangers and non-Black people and white folk and European folk are not handed. You show me the plethora and the heap of examples of white people playing these competitive sports where they're handed out requirements to lower themselves or make themselves small, or discrimination in general. Where's it at? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So, you know, hey, it is what it is. The caucasity, absolutely. Absolutely. So, listen, I gave y'all more than enough time to load onto the bus while we got those quick topics out of the way. Quick topics, kind of. But now it's time to take off, and we need to get into the viral story, okay? We need to get into Jada Pinkett Smith. We got other topics. We got other breaking news and so much more that we're going to get into in this video. Got some Black history, Black excellence, all types of stuff in this video. So this is definitely a good morning show for you. Hey, Renee Starr, a good morning show. So we are going to get ready, and shout out to all of y'all for being here on this beautiful Wednesday. It just so happens to actually be a beautiful day outside, even though if it wasn't a beautiful day outside, it was a rainy, gloomy, foggy day. My advice would be come prepared with your own sunshine, and your own sunshine is just your mental oomph, right? And your spiritual oomph. But it's actually a beautiful day outside as well. So this is a beautiful day, and I'm just happy to be here with y'all on some real shit. Okay. So let's get into the rest of our show today. Let's go ahead and close the bus up and pull off. We got about 271 of us here right now. I'm sure y'all are going to get the likes up in a second. Drop some pancakes in the chat and let go.
On your wrist of plain Jane.
You're tuned in to Jane, the plainest Jane. Be sure to thumbs up the video and subscribe, and let's get into it. All right, so we are going to get into our next story. And our next story is about none other than, and good morning to everybody except for Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, Krishan, Bluetooth, Stewie, Jade. Good morning to everybody but them. All right. And I'm just gonna have to go out there and I'm gonna have to say it. Good morning to everybody except for them. All right. Sick of it. Let us out the group chat. God damn, I'm sick of it. Every day I wake up and I'm plagued, infected with all of this Jada and Krishan mess. If you had to choose who was more annoying on your timeline to be continuously learning about against your will, would it be Will and Jada or Krishan and Blueface? Put a 4 in the chat if you're more annoyed at Will and Jada over Krishan and Blueface. Put a 5 in the chat if you're more annoyed at Bluetooth, Blueface, Jade and Alexis, Krishan. Put a 4 if Jada and Will are more annoying. Put a 5 if Bluetooth, Blueface, Krishan and them are more annoying to you. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. A 4 if Jada is more annoying and Will, and a 5 if Bluetooth, Krishan, and Blueface are more annoying. I don't know how to choose. I feel like it's a damn tie. I feel like it's a tie. Is it not? It ain't a tie? They're not both annoying as hell? I mean, they are, but I'm just like, how do we quantify who is worse? How do we? I don't know. Somebody said 454. You know what? The sexy red is kind of a bit much, especially them little nasty, crusty feet she was sucking on. It's bad enough she was sucking on them feet, but the fact that she let the man take a picture of her, what type of kink is that? What type of kink is that? They said at least Will and Jada have talent. Well, that's one way to go about it. Let's go ahead and get into this because, child, not Jada Pinkett. So I found this. I'm busy snooping and minding my business last night. Okay. I'm snooping and minding my business last night. Somebody said ritual humiliation. I guess they talking about Sexy Red. You know, it could be, but it seems like Sexy Red really enjoys being that type of person. I don't know. So Will and Jada, okay? Jada and Will are also thinking about collaborating on a future project together, Jada Pinkett shared with Extra. Jada says, quote, I know Will and I are talking about writing a book together called Don't Try This at Home, end quote. Sweetheart, you don't have to warn us to not try anything that you and Will got going on at home. Trust me, we're not going to try it. Truth is we tired. We're tired. We're tired. We're not going to try it at home. You don't have to write a book about this. It's too much. It's too much. Give it back. Give it back. Okay? Now, here's one thing I have to say about this on a serious tip. On a serious tip, I think that it's pretty sad it's shocking and sad to me, just in general, right? Not what she's doing right now, but what the two of them have been doing brand wise over the last couple of years. That these two megastars have to think that they have to rely on these cheap gimmicks to sell books and self-exploitation of themselves, their union, their household, their family, what they do with their kids, that they really feel that they have to do that in order to sell books. These are two of some of the most successful people around. Will Smith is making $20 million a movie. Jada Pinkett, maybe $2 to $5 million per movie. The net worths are net worthing. They touch more money than probably 70 or 80% of the population. They will never go broke. And to think that megastars like this are out here exploiting themselves in everything that should be intimate and sacred and private to and for them, and they're exploiting it in this way to sell books, is just, it's a little bizarre to me, because I feel like they don't need to do this in order to sell their books. I mean, hell, you had J. Cole performing the other night, and when it came to that Jada and that Will love, he completely left that out of the song. Y'all were couples goals, y'all were success goals, career goals, y'all were goals, right? If you want to go after your goals and your dreams, then these are people who actually did it. They made it out the mud. Both of them came from, one from Philly, one grew up in Baltimore and made it out of poverty. Whether Jada really sold drugs or not, but that's a whole nother story. But I just don't see why this is necessary in order for them to successfully sell these books. So, you know, Will's book was it earlier this year or last year, somewhere within the last 12 months. And then you have Jada doing all of this. And Jada, you know what, girl, we so tired of hearing about you and Tupac. It's not even funny. Stop. Like, stop. It's so annoying. Like, let that man rest. You know how people would dig up something new about Michael Jackson every time we turn, like, damn, let him rest. Same with Aaliyah. People making up rumors or stuff that they don't have any evidence about, circumstantial crap. And it's like, damn, let her rest. Please let Tupac rest. Some of this stuff, it does sound and come off pretty asinine. Pretty asinine. And it's interesting. If you're a channel member, drop the Will emoji. Sunstar said, how is the Will emoji still relevant? Yes, it's the Will emoji. It's just a bit much. It's a bit much. And they're both really talented. I've enjoyed a lot of Will Smith movies. I've enjoyed a lot of Jada Smith's movies. But why did they have to deduce themselves to this? They may still have the financial net worth, but their social worth and respect and the general consensus and stuff like that, it's going down. It's clicking, but it's clicking down. I don't understand why they're reducing themselves to this, because it's a reduction to me. All of this media frenzy is uncalled for. Is it really that serious that you need to sell this book? Y'all are not financially struggling. So what is this about? Are they this thirsty for attention that they have to do all of this? So there is a woman, okay, who claims that Jada is lying, and they put together, hey, baby, wasn't me, because they put together a timeline, all right? They put together a timeline of how they feel as though Jada Pinkett Smith is lying, okay? So let's get into this. I want to know how you feel about it. You know, Will did a similar PR tour. It just wasn't as abrasive and rough around the edges as Jada's. When it was time for his book to come out, there was stuff coming out where we're like, why can't y'all go back to keep it secret sometimes? Why? Right? Let's get into this timeline. This woman claims that Jada is lying. I want to know what you think about it. Whether it be true or not, it is very interesting. Let's take a look.
Jada's lying, and I have the timeline to prove it. Jada is currently on her Pay Attention to Me tour, and she is making all these wild claims, including that Tupac proposed to her while he was at Rikers. Really? The math isn't mathing, so let's take a look. Tupac was convicted of sexual assault charges on February 8th, 1995. From there, he was sent to Rikers Prison, only to be transferred less than a month later to Clinton Correctional Facility. And she specifically said she went to see him. This was not on the phone.
Book when I go to see him in Rikers, probably one of the more painful parts, seeing him there, the condition that he was in, and having to leave him there.
Cool. So prior to going into Rikers, Tupac already had a girlfriend named Keisha. He proposed to Keisha, her words, in a September 2011 interview. He proposed to Keisha before he even went into prison. They were already engaged. They got married in April. And in the time that he got sentenced and was taken to prison, Keisha actually moved closer to be by him and be by the prison and saw him on a near daily basis.
When he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers.
So you're telling me that in the 3 to 4 week window that he was at Rikers, engaged to another woman who had moved closer to the prison and was there almost every day, Tupac proposed to Jada. But hey, Jess, you might be saying to yourself, Tupac wasn't known to be a one-woman man. He was no.
My thing about the proposal that I found weird, of course, a man can propose to more than one woman when he in jail, right? Like, honestly. My thing about it is Jada consistently said we were just friends, but there was no chemistry, but he proposed. How did he propose with no chemistry? There was no chemistry, but it seems like you're infatuated with him. So was there chemistry or not? Then you come out and say he had alopecia. Nobody ever heard that before. His wife ain't put it out. He don't. I have alopecia. He had alopecia. We was putting our alopecia heads together. Okay.
Angel, fair enough. Let's see where Jada was during February of 1995, which was, as we've already established, the only time she would have been able to see Tupac at Rikers since he was only there for less than a month. You see, Jada had already met Will Smith in 1994 on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Will Smith was married, and so nothing happened between them. But in February of 1995, Will Smith was served divorce papers by his wife. 5 days later, on February 19th, Will called Jada and said, "Are you single?" And she said, "Yep." Will said, "We're together now." Jada said, "Cool." And she immediately flew to LA. She flew so immediately that when he called her, she was in Maryland at a brand new house she bought. And she never spent a single night in her new house. That's how immediately she flew to LA. Jada, when in all that time did you visit Tupac at Rikers and get this fucking proposal? And for the record, Keisha and Tupac stayed married for about 10 months. They got their marriage annulled about 4 or 5 months after Tupac was released from prison. He was bailed out by Suge Knight. It wasn't long after that he met Kidada Jones. Kidada Jones is the daughter of legendary Quincy Jones. Kidada looks a little recognizable. You may know her sister, Rashida Jones, who played Karen on The Office. Kidada and Tupac were living together and engaged when Tupac was shot and killed. Kidada was the one that was there with him at the hospital the night he died. Kidada was handed his bloody clothes. She was the one who told him, "We all love you," before he slipped into a coma and never woke up. Keisha spoke with Tupac several days before he died, because even though their marriage was annulled, they still remained good friends. And I can't help but notice that all of the women who are actually part of his life in a meaningful way are the ones that have just kept quiet. They've kept silent. They've kept their memories to themselves and not tried to use a dead man as their limelight. And the person who's squawking about him the most is making claims that can't even be verified and don't make sense from the perspective of a verifiable timeline.
So many people in that position don't have support.
Right.
None at all.
None. You know?
And he got the best.
He did get the best, but not from Jada, because per Will Smith's own words, that him and Jada were pretty much humping all over the world. They were traveling constantly from the first 3 months they were together, all over the world. So Tupac did get some great support, I imagine, from his wife, who moved closer to be with him and visited him every day. And why do I care? Because I'm Gen X. And like any good Gen X person, I grew up on Tupac. We all remember this going down. We all remember where we were when we heard that Tupac got shot or that he died. We all had this fucking hat from Poetic Justice. We're all just sitting here watching Jada spout these lies being like, do you think no one remembers? Because we all remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers, Jada.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Child, that was a lot. Let me say this. I understand some people think that this woman got too much time on her hand. I understand. I've seen the comments that say white people need to stay out of black people's business. I get it. I get it. I get the people that say she's way too invested. I get that. I get that. But you know, there's a certain sort of spark that comes across you when somebody is straight up lying to your face. Straight up lying to your face. And not like, I don't want to tell you I'm pregnant type lying. Just lying about facts for the hell of selling something, right? For capitalistic gain. And so it does make people want to scratch and reach for the truth just to prove you wrong. Have you ever caught a nigga in a lie and went through his phone and proved him wrong? And his first thing was not to address the fact that he's lying and you caught him in a lie. It's, man, you going through my phone? Why you gotta do all of that? Why you gotta do all of that? Why you gotta be going through my phone to prove you wrong? You're lying. You're more mad about me catching you in the lie than I am about the lie. So sometimes when people are flat out lying to you and expecting you to believe it, whether they want you to believe because they want you to buy their book, buy their album, follow them, whatever the case is, it does spark a little something inside of them that makes them want to be like, you know what? I remember what the truth is, and I'm going to prove it because, bitch, you think I'm stupid. You think I'm dumb. You think I'm dumb. And so, yeah, it does put people in that mode where they want to do a little bit of extra work just to prove you wrong because, no, you're not going to insult my intelligence. You're not going to insult my intelligence. I mean, this infatuation while you're still married to a man is a bit much. Even if y'all are separated, y'all are still married. And every time you go in an interview, it's Tupac, 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 Tupac. You damn near talk more about Tupac than you talk about Will. It's a bit much. It's a bit much. So, you know, he had alopecia. Then she went on to say that Will and Tupac would have been good friends if Tupac would have never passed away. And it's just like the exploitation of Tupac, whether it be true or made up or fictitious or whatever the case is, in order to sell this book. And I feel like it's a shame. I feel like that's a shame. And Jada shouldn't really have to do all that. I mean, have you ever like lost respect for somebody because they were just doing raunchy moves and you felt like they were more classy than that? That's kind of where I am with Jada. Not even kinda. That's exactly where I am with Jada, period. All right. So let's get into this. And thanks to everybody here. We've got 300 people. Thank you so much for hitting the like button and dropping them pancakes in the chat. Drop them pancakes in the chat. It is so appreciated. And if you haven't already taken a moment to subscribe to the show, please be sure to do so. It's another one of those ways that you can support the channel and make sure that you don't miss out on any videos. I don't want to say too much, but y'all got a great week ahead of y'all content-wise from me over here in the sticky place. All right. So let's get into this. Jada Pinkett says that Tupac and Will Smith would have been good friends if he survived the shooting in Las Vegas. Baby, when I tell you I am tired of her and her shit, I am so tired. Please, I mean, we can't escape the group chat. Can you please let us out the group chat? She done locked us in the room, put deadbolts and everything else that you can imagine. And we are not allowed outside the group chat. It's crazy. Let us out. This is an escape room that is impossible of us being able to escape. Damn.
Had survived Vegas, he and Will would have ended up being really good friends. You know, they would have had a lot to offer one another. And funny enough, Will was the only person when I started dating him. Pac never said anything. If I dated anybody else, Pac had something to say. He didn't think anybody was good enough, which I understand, right? But when I started dating Will, he didn't say anything, which meant to me, in his own way, he approved.
Yeah, wait,
right,
didn't say anything.
Right, he didn't say anything, which was like, okay, and not a word, which made me believe he approved. If Pac had survived Vegas, he and Will would have ended up being really good friends. You know, they would have had a lot to offer one another. And funny enough, Will was the only person when I started dating him. Pac never said anything. If I dated anybody else, Pac had something to say. He didn't think anybody was good enough, which I understand, right? But when I started dating Will, he didn't say anything, which meant to me, in his own way, he approved.
Yeah, wait, didn't say anything.
Right, he didn't say anything.
All right, so there's that. Also, apparently what's in the book, I have some people requesting that I get the book and read through it with y'all. I might. I mean, I don't. If enough of y'all request it, I might, but it really depends on if y'all request it or not in the hard comments or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll put a poll on the community tab. I don't know. But also, what apparently is in this book is Jada Pinkett Smith reveals that she built some escape room. She built a beautiful sex room for her and Will Smith to escape from their children. I read this entire article earlier, so that's really the main and only highlight here. I want celebrities to go back to keeping secrets and what happened to the element? What happened to shame? What happened to the element of mystique and mystery? And trying to just imagine what celebrities were doing behind the scenes as opposed to them coming out and spilling their guts, whether it's true or faux, right? What happened to that? Because I'm tired. Baby, when I tell you I'm tired, this is, I want to give y'all a physical look at exactly how I feel every time I see a Will and Jada post. This is it. I mean, just tired, baby. I can't take but so much more. I can't take but so much more. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm tired of it. Somebody said that Tupac's estate need to send Jada a cease and desist. That would be so funny. If that happened, baby, I wouldn't be no more good. I wouldn't be no more good. Now, shout out to St. Hudson for the $4.99 super chat and says, let's jump her. Thank you so much for the super chat. Will Smith gave a bit of a reaction to this media frenzy that's going on, and not the one where he was on the boat and said that his phone was on Do Not Disturb. There was another one that he gave. So I want to go ahead and pull that up so that y'all can see it. And I think I've been able to interpret exactly what it means. Okay. And let's go ahead and get into that. All right. Such a beautiful Wednesday. I'm feeling so good today. I'm just happy to be here with y'all.
So my opinion of the I got something for you. Here's the thing. So my opinion of the I got something.
So what do y'all think that meant? What do you think that he meant by that? What do you think he meant? Shout out to Down the Rabbit Hole News. Shout out to you, rabbits. Okay. And if y'all aren't already subscribed to Down the Rabbit Hole News, if you do enjoy true crime and investigations, you definitely want to follow Down the Rabbit Hole News. I feel like it was a very corny response, but I think that basically what he was implying for me is y'all busy doing all this talking while I'm busy traveling and enjoying the world. Or what is it? Life's too short. There are more things happening in the world. What I think about it is huge pan over the whole world and all these exotic places that only he has enough money to travel to. That's what it comes off like to me. What else can it come off as, right? He ain't say much, but give us a beautiful, edited pan of several different places of the world. Like, okay, all right. I mean, somebody said he don't give a damn. Yeah, well, it's a typical Will response. Who knows? Yeah, it is a typical Will response. Will keep you in he'll keep you in the dark about what it is he's feeling sometimes. Jada is just doing so much talking that this is why Jada never wanted to be married. She says she's a free spirit. I think both of them are free spirits, but hey, it's just too much talking to me. They can keep what do they have that they keep it to themselves? They're either manufacturing lies to feed the public, right? Because it's juicy, it's whatever. Or they're actually sharing all of their guts. And then again, what do you have that's left to yourself after that? Like, I remember the episode of MTV Cribs when they did Mariah Carey, and Mariah Carey refused to let the crew and refused to let them in to see her bedroom. And her explanation was, well, if I show y'all this, what do I have left to myself? What's sacred that the world doesn't have or know about me or can't see about me that I have that's left just for me to enjoy, that I'm not sharing everything with the world? And that hit to heart for me. And I think I was in middle school or something, but I will never forget that. There are some things that you need to keep to yourself and for your family. And there is a such thing as privacy. It just seems like the Smiths don't understand or know what the hell privacy is anymore. It's let's exploit everything. But that's a very reality TV type of way of looking at all that's going on in your world and saying, well, let's just exploit it all for money, to sell these books, for visibility, for social currency. Outrage is social currency in this day and age. So let's just go ahead and give them that. And I just would have never seen Will or Jada being these types of celebrities. It is so shocking and disappointing to me. It is, because I grew up on both of them. Jada was on In a Different World. She was in Jason's Lyric. What was it? Low Down Dirty Shame. She was in Set It Off is one of them classics, and Will Smith was in so many things coming up too. And I've always thought of them to be really upstanding, talented, above average, superb actors and celebrities. Music wasn't Will Smith's thing. Let's just keep it a buck. He did that little rapping thing for a while. In the Men in Black, Just the Two of Us was a good song, but anything else outside of Just the Two of Us, in the Wild Wild West, because it went good with the soundtrack, because he was in the Wild Wild West, anything outside of that musically, it's like, no. But I just would have never seen them going this down low for visibility or for sales. But I never thought that they would have to do anything like that. But, it is what it is, Maybe she doing all this because he too free. Getting jiggy. Yeah, getting jiggy with it was a good one. Nah. Yeah, but anything outside of those three, though, not bumping music wise. So, you know what? Okay, so if we take it back to then, I'm thinking the late 99s and the 2000s for Will Smith. But if we go back to the Jazzy Jeff days, yes, Summertime and Parents Just Don't Understand and stuff like that. He was bumping then. But outside of that, when he tried to take on the modern as he evolved after Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and stuff like that, music wise, Will wasn't that. But yes, parents just don't understand and all that other stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Y'all are right. I almost forgot about Summertime in them. So yeah, I just think that these are really cheap gimmicks that some of the newer artists do, and I would have never expected this out of them too. But hey, sometimes you gotta lower your expectations. Don't lower your standards. Lower your expectations. When you lower your bars, I just thought of that. You can lower your expectations. That don't mean you have to lower your standards, and that's about any and everything. The music you listen to, the artists you allow to penetrate your psyche and to live rent free in your head. Lowering your standards is something that you do for you so that you're not hurt by expecting too much out of people. But that doesn't mean that you have to lower your standards. And yeah, that's that. So let me see. What are we doing? Thank y'all so much for being here for this morning show. Okay. So I usually say this in the beginning, but listen, I genuinely hope that all of you all are feeling all right. I do hope that y'all are feeling all right. Mental health is important to me and for me. Y'all know I started therapy about a month and a half, 2 months ago. So I do implore you all to check in on your mental health and your invisible problems. You have no business being here or checking out any of the other celebrity gossip, mess, and drama if you haven't checked on your own mental health and the invisible problems that are going on in your world. Okay. So shout out to the new subscribers and let's continue on with this show. What else are we talking about, child? We got some flower arranger news. And in this bit of flower arranger news on today's episode of What the Hell is Wrong with Y'all? We've got to talk about, and yes, I'm about to kink shame. Okay. I am about to kink shame. All right. A lot of people don't kink shame anybody. Oh yes, I'm going to do it, babes. I'm going to do it. All right. Because this is out of this world and it's crazy. So I'm going to let y'all watch it. This is another edition of the Flower Ranger News and another episode of What the Hell is Wrong with Y'all that we're going to get into. And I want to know how y'all feel about it. I'll tell you how I feel about it afterwards, but I'm going to expose y'all to this nonsense first. All right. I'm going to expose y'all to it first.
The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy.
All right, so if you follow me on Twitter, which you definitely need to be, same name as you see here, you've already seen this, but let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on.
Do you think I'm beautiful? Yes, I do. Do you want some mud? It actually feels kind of nice.
No, I'm okay, actually.
So apparently this young lady here, she does this with clothes on TikTok, but she does it booty butt naked on OnlyFans. Yeah. So I've never openly kink shamed, but I'm gonna openly kink shame today, baby. That is strange and it is deranged.
Why?
I need Tokyo Tony to go talk some sense into her. And I'm being so serious, for real. So apparently it's called pet play. But baby, when I tell you this is exactly, this is exactly why I stay the hell off of TikTok. Because baby, what the hell? What the hell? The Flower Ranger news is always going to bring something. It's always going to bring something that you don't expect, that you think is crazy. It's just too much. It's too much. All right. Continuing on in the Flower Ranger news. Let me see. What's the next story I want to get into? I'm conflicted between what story I want to get into next. You know what? Let's go ahead and get into the update on Sergio Brown. Those of you who know, you know that I've been covering Sergio Brown, right? Very unfortunate situation. I've done a lot of really good coverage on Sergio Brown. It's actually got me featured in a lot of other places and recognized for my coverage. So I just want to continue keeping you all updated with this situation. Very sad story what's going on with Sergio. Okay. Is everyone caught up to speed with the Sergio story? Because I don't want to have to, I mean, I can take some time to fill you in, but I really want to get to the update. I really want to get into the update. No, everybody's not filled in. No? What? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Everybody's not filled in. Okay, let me see what I can do to try to get y'all filled in on this. Let's see. All right. What up and welcome back. I'm Jane, the plainest Jane, and I provide serve in the form of Black news and celebrity updates. Now, I've been covering this extremely eerie story surrounding ex-NFL player Sergio Brown and his 73-year-old mom, both of which went missing on the same day. Now, it was September the 16th when family reached out to local law enforcement to inform them that they couldn't get in contact with Sergio or his mom, both of whom lived together. So I want you to take a quick look. There's not a lot of information here, but this is a press release that came from local law enforcement, just letting the public know, hey, we were alerted that both of these people are missing and this is an ongoing investigation. So again, there's not a lot of information that we're really getting from law enforcement. It seems that whatever progress they are or are not making regarding this case, they're keeping the information close to the chest. But I wanted to give you an update about how Sergio Brown is still seemingly in Mexico making jokes about his disappearance and new strange videos amid his mom's unaliving. Okay. I told you they both went missing around about September the 16th. But since then, she has been found unalived and foul play is suspected. What makes this story even more eerie is the last time that Sergio was seen in the country, he was seen taking out the trash and burning nearly all of his mother's clothes. Now, this was captured via a neighbor's Ring doorbell camera. All right. Now, Sergio's brother and other family members are begging for Sergio to come home and to help them piece together exactly what happened with his mother. If you're not all caught up on exactly where we are with this case, I do recommend you check out the previous video. I'll link it here in the description box and I'll pin it to the top of the comments below. We saw in his initial video that he posted to social media, he didn't come off as he was grieving. He clearly found out through social media, he was alerted through social media that his mother was indeed found lifeless, right? And it didn't really come off like a grieving son who was anxious to really understand exactly what happened. That was strange in and of itself, but we're going to get into the updates of this story. If you haven't already seen the missing persons poster, here is that, because this is a story that not only has made news, but it's gained nationwide and international attention. So one thing that was not clear when I first began covering this story on Monday of last week is whether Sergio Brown was in fact living with his mother or not. And I have been able to confirm that yes, he was in fact living with his mother. Now, Sergio, he did over 7 seasons in the NFL. He made over $6 million in his NFL career, which is pretty impressive. And even to this day, to date, he has a net worth of over $5 million. Now, a lot of people wonder, with all of that information, why was he living with his mom? That is unclear, but I have been able to find through my research that family and friends say that Sergio, he really just kind of hasn't been himself lately for quite some months, and that the police were called to the house a few times prior to them going missing. So unsure exactly what sort of issues were transpiring in the home, but this is where we are with the investigation. Without further ado, let's get into some of these weird videos. With this, again, Sergio is still presumed to be in Mexico. And here he's addressing his disappearance, but he's joking about his disappearance and constantly referencing the movie Finding Nemo. Let's take a look at this video, and thank you for hitting thumbs up on the video and share this video with someone who's invested and needs the updates on this story.
Doris, it's P. Sherman, 42, Wallaby Way, Sydney. Oh my gosh, I can't. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. What the fuck? Missing? Ain't never seen Finding Nemo? What the fuck is going on? This is traumatic. Lucky I know how to say a joke. You. What the fuck? Just keep swimming.
So this is, it is really strange, right? Some people are bringing mental health, or does he have CTE? He did do over 7 seasons in the NFL. Is he just inebriated here? It does seem, based on these surroundings, that he is at a bar. Matter of fact, it's been confirmed that he's at a bar, and we're going to get to that in just a second. Let's take one more look at this. And Stickies, I'm really curious to see what you think about his mental state and what's really going on with him. Let's take one more look.
I got it. Doris, it's P. Sherman, 42, Wallaby Way, Sydney. Oh my gosh, I can't. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. What the fuck? Missing? Ain't never seen Finding Nemo? What the fuck is going on? This is traumatic. Lucky I know how to say a joke. You. What the fuck? Just keep swimming.
Certainly very strange, slightly off-putting, absolutely. Let's get into what TikTok was able to uncover as far as verifying his location. Let's take a look.
TikTok did their thing, and we've got his location. That is the Musa Surf Bar in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. That's the neon light behind him in the video.
So TikTok is full of nothing but social media investigators. So this was sent over to law enforcement. They received the tip and they were able to confirm that one of the videos that was posted and deleted was done in front of Playa del Carmen. And he's either staying there or in close proximity. So social media was able to put 2 and 2 together. And I just showed you that info regarding the tip that law enforcement did receive. If we take a look here at this second paragraph, the police department reportedly used Google Lens to determine that the video that he allegedly posted on Wednesday morning was recorded in front of a condo in front of Playa del Carmen. Okay, so law enforcement was able to confirm this, whether law enforcement did it all by themselves or whether they just took the TikTok for their, for their word, right? But this is something that law enforcement has spoke to, and they have been able to confirm. Now let's get into another video, another eerie video, and social media is really dissecting this one because he's singing a song, but he's constantly mentioning if he dies, if he dies. It is a Drake song, but let's take a look.
Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. It's too late for my city. I'm the youngest nigga rapping. Oh my God. Drizzy Drake! Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. It's too late for my city. I'm the youngest nigga rapping. Oh my God. Drizzy Drake!
Eerie indeed, weird indeed, strange indeed. Something I do find peculiar about this video in particular is he's tagged Illinois here instead of constantly tagging Mexico like he typically has been doing in the past. Now, some social media users I found on TikTok, they even used Google Lens and took the background of this video as well. And they said he, in fact, is not in Illinois. He is still in Mexico in front of some condos. So he is either there or in close proximity. We really have no clue, right? But this is exactly what's going on. And again, this is an eerie case indeed, especially because, again, his mother was found unalived in a creek less than 100 yards from her home. And according to the medical examiner, she was beaten to death, right? It is important to note that despite how eerie and suspicious his mother's untimely death is, in conjunction with Sergio's odd and questionable behavior, he has not been named a person of interest. Law enforcement still wants to speak with him. His family still wants to speak to him to try to piece together what happened to his mom in her final moments. However, he has not officially been named a person of interest. Doesn't mean that he's not a person of interest because, as I've stated earlier, law enforcement is being extremely hush-hush about this investigation and keeping all of their findings close to the chest. But both authorities and Sergio's family, they do still want to talk to him together. And the burning clothes, the burning of the clothes, his mom's things, that's very eerie. So, like I said, if he is in fact still in Mexico, there may be some jurisdictional issues with Mexico being a whole nother country, right? Will they be able to extradite him? Are they actually going to locate him? Are they going to wait for him to come back to the States? Is he going to come back to the States? Okay. It is believed that he is still in Mexico, but he's tagging locations in the United States in order to throw both law enforcement and social media off. And so that gives you a bit of a backstory into what is happening with Sergio Brown, right? And it's one of them situations where people are just at a loss for words, right? Nobody wanted to suspect that he was the number one suspect in the offing of his own mom, but all roads were kind of leading back to him, unfortunately. What I do want to show you is a couple of other things. I want to show you, already seen the Finding Nemo, already seen Drake. Let's get into this.
News at 10 o'clock out of Maywood. A search for two missing people has now turned into a homicide investigation for one of them. Family members called police for help when they couldn't get in contact with 73-year-old Myrtle Brown or her son, former NFL player 35-year-old Sergio Brown, earlier today. Investigating officers discovered Myrtle Brown's body near a creek behind her home in the western suburb. Her son Sergio is still missing. Detectives are asking anyone with information on this case to call Maywood.
Her family came and knocked on the door and was looking for her because they put out a police report because she was missing for 72 hours. Like I said, I would have never expected this in a million years.
A former NFL player, Sergio Brown, who loved ones say they have not heard from.
Now, earlier today, we talked to Sheila Simmons, who is the sister of Myrtle Simmons Brown, and she told us that she last talked to Myrtle on Thursday. She says early this morning around 3 a.m., she got a call that Myrtle and her nephew, former NFL player Sergio Brown, were missing. Sheila says she came to her sister and nephew's house in Maywood and noticed things around the house were out of the ordinary. Sheila says she and police searched the creek behind the house and initially didn't find anything. But later in the day, she and family members went back to search and discovered her sister's body in the creek.
But we're going to find out what happened, because it's not unnormal for my sister to just not answer her phone, don't respond to text messages. People been reaching out to her since Friday. No one was able to reach her, and now I got the call, like I said, this morning saying that she's missing. So immediately I came out here, and now I find out that my sister's dead.
And of course, this family is devastated. When we last talked to them, they say they had not heard from Sergio. Loved ones also say that Myrtle had just celebrated her 73rd birthday recently on September the 8th. As more details in this investigation become available, we'll bring them to you. Reporting live tonight in Melrose Park, I'm Jewel Hillary, WGN.
This is such a sad situation. Imagine making it to 73 years old only to be taken out by your own child. One thing that I want to clear up, because a lot of people, and I realize I'm just going to clear it up, but I'm not clearing it up with any animosity towards anybody who doesn't agree with my thought that mental health has something to do with this. I am not making an excuse for this man at all. Two things can be true at once. Two things can be true at once. As I stated in my initial reporting, the recap that I just showed you was my follow-up reporting to the first part of my reporting. So if you haven't been following my reporting or following the story, then you don't know. But I got a lot of comments and a lot of feedback. Stop making excuses for him. And mental health ain't the cause for everything. No, mental health is not the cause for quote unquote everything. No, it is not. But somebody can be mentally ill and still need to be held accountable for what they've done. Yes, I think that he's thrown off, but he ain't that thrown off to the point where he flew to Mexico. He had enough sense to flee. He did what he did. He dragged his mom's body 100 yards outside. They both lived together. Dragged his mom's body 100 yards away from the home into a creek, burned all of her clothes, and went to go flee to Mexico. He ain't that thrown off. Is he thrown off? Yes, but he still needs to be thrown under the jail. You can be thrown off and still need to be held accountable and thrown under the jail as well. It is extremely diabolical, and there is nothing normal about somebody blunt force trauma, right? I got into the medical examiner's report in my first batch of recording on this story, my initial reporting. It was blunt force trauma. This 73-year-old woman was beaten to death. Now we know she was beaten to death by her son. There's nothing normal about that. Some people think he's playing crazy and all this. Okay, you tell me you can walk up to your mom right now, whether y'all get along or not, and beat her to death. There's nothing normal about that. Something's off about that brother in the mind. But do I think that he shouldn't have to serve jail time because of that? Absolutely not. He needs to go to jail. Period. I think his brain is scrambled up like some scrambled eggs. Scrambled hard, not over easy. So nobody's making excuses because mental health comes into the conversation, because this brother couldn't even grieve when he found out, right? He already knew his mother had passed because he did it. But he couldn't go back. He didn't bother trying to go to the funeral. He wasn't contacting his family, and he's busy laughing it up. He had no remorse. It seemed like he was incapable of tapping into remorse. Sometimes people do stuff and they black out, and then when they realize it, they wake up, they're like, oh my God. Oh my gosh, I did something crazy. And then they have remorse afterwards. This brother never even woke up. But he had enough sense to flee from the beginning and to also be using and trying to tag his stories as I'm in Illinois, knowing damn well he was still in Mexico. So you can be manipulative and conniving and deceiving and still have a mental health disorder at the same time. Why are people acting like people with mental health issues can't do wrong, nasty, evil, manipulative shit? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So that's that. Let's get into the update. I saw somebody in the chat saying he probably went somewhere and offed himself. Well, he didn't. He didn't. He's actually been caught. Let's go ahead and get into this. And listen, please get the likes up for me, please. There are 300 something people here. Let's just get the likes up, all right?
I have my passport. Why are they grabbing me? They're kidnapping me again. I'm from Chicago. My flight was Colombia. Why am I going to Tijuana? This is a kidnapping. They're in uniforms. Thank you for participating. I was going to Colombia. I'm from Chicago. I should not be going to Tijuana.
It's the violence for me, because here's the thing. Here's where we are with the update. All right. So law enforcement refused to keep the public updated about what's going on with this man. All right. And so due to that, I think that they were keeping everything kind of like to themselves so that they could catch him. So when it came to this, they actually deported him. They extradited him, right? The U.S. is extraditing him. Mexico is deporting him. They put this brother, this maniac, on a commercial flight with regular civilians. He's not handcuffed. And now he's getting violent with the Mexican authorities because he's claiming that he's being kidnapped. Now, mind you, this isn't his first time mentioning kidnapping. When people were first beating down his phone and the news came out about his mother being passed away, he's like, oh, I thought my mother was in vacation somewhere else. The FBI did it because the FBI kidnapped me before. So now he's talking about kidnapping again. Is he really stuck in another dimension? What's going on? All I know is not only should he have not been on a commercial flight, he definitely should have been handcuffed. This was negligent on behalf of the Mexican authorities, but let's keep looking as he's in the process of being deported and extradited.
Let me go. This is kidnapping. Cameras, please. Kidnapping. Kidnapping. I wasn't going to Tijuana. I was going to Medellin in Chicago. They're kidnapping me. This is criminal confinement.
Stop. Take your stuff. It's fine. Come here. Oh!
They're kidnapping me.
Just calm down.
They're kidnapping me.
Okay.
I'm the one calm. They're holding me like this.
Hi. What's your name?
Sergio.
Sergio. How are you?
Bien.
My name is Dr. Avila. Hey. Sergio is okay. Okay. Hi, Sergio.
I'm free. I'm legal.
Okay.
They should not be grabbing me.
Okay.
He's still holding me when you're telling him not to.
No, hey.
Let me go.
Oh.
He had an authority problem. I'm elbow his ass.
Okay, Sergio. Sergio.
He's holding me.
Okay. Sergio.
Let me go. I'm gonna stand up, bro.
Okay.
Let me go. Let me stand up. Damn, they just had me in criminal confinement, PTSD, they finna kidnap me again. And he the one that kidnapped me. My name is bad enough, you gonna go to jail.
Okay, Sergio, let me talk.
Who yours too?
Sergio, come on.
Alright, let me get up the plane. Where's my bag at? I'm falling out here.
Yeah, breathe. Okay. Breathe deeply. Okay. Okay. You want a glass of water?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Can you please give me a glass of water?
No glass.
Glass of water is...
No glass.
It's not a glass. It's a
You
cup.
just said glass.
A cup. I don't know. A bottle. Okay? I'm a physician.
I don't care what you are. He's not in a position.
I know,
He's being treated
but
by a
he's
physician right now.
coinciding.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
I get where that man in the background was coming from, because that lady come up there trying to get into a situation. First of all, she shouldn't have been allowed access to somebody who's in custody, a regular person. She's coming in. She has no clue what he's snatching badges. She trying to get him a glass of water, and he's volatile already. He could have thrown that glass to the back of the plane, and he's already a harm to himself or others. Why would we give him glass so he could really do something? Child, this is a mess. I don't know what they have going on. I don't know what they have going on. Someone said the Mexican police are always dropping the ball. He's mentally unstable, and they have this man with no handcuffs. If I was on that plane, honey, I'm moving so far away. Yeah, they contacted the captain, and it took him an hour and a half to remove him from this flight. So what I want to do is I want to get into his mugshot and the press release. His mugshot, surprisingly, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. This mugshot is giving glamour photo. It's giving glamour photo for sure. Okay, it really, really is. And of course he's happy in it, but it's not just the fact that he's smiling in it. It's just the softness of it. Like, damn, he don't even care that he's in custody. Is he woke? You know, this is too much of a serious offense. I can understand smiling in some mugshots, depending on what it is. But this is one where you are in custody because you have unalived your mother. Unalived your mother. And you're smiling in the mugshot. There's something really strange about this. But there's also a press release that I want to get into as well. So let's go ahead and read this from the Maywood Police Department. Okay. So what it says here is on Tuesday, October 10th, Sergio Brown was taken into custody while re-entering the United States via San Diego from Mexico. Now, the San Diego Police Department Threat Management Unit, along with other local and federal agencies, took Antonio Brown into custody after a warrant was issued for first-degree murder for the death of his mother, Myrtle Brown. Now, currently, Sergio Brown is awaiting extradition. Now, he's not waiting extradition anymore. He's already been expedited, but to face charges of first-degree murder. Now, on Saturday, September 16th, when family members and authorities were unable to locate Miss Myrtle Brown or Sergio Brown, both of them were considered missing persons. After a brief search of the residence that the two shared in Illinois, Myrtle Brown's body was found near a creek not far from the residence. Anybody who has knowledge of the incident is asked to please contact Maywood Investigations Sergeant or the Maywood Police Department's anonymous tip line. Okay, so this was what they put out, and they do have him in custody now. And again, his mugshot is here. Literally looks like a glamour photo. So this is, I don't know if they put filters on their photos or what, but this is the official one from their website. So it's a trip. He's been doing nothing but partying ever since the day he went missing. So it's a really unfortunate situation, especially for his family, his siblings, his mother, and just, you know, even the friends of the family. This is really unfortunate. He played 7 years in the NFL. He had a decent career. I want to say he played for the Colts when the Colts was a Baltimore team. But yeah, he had a decent career and his net worth was still pretty high and upstanding. But he's been doing nothing but partying in Mexico since this happened. Never grieved for his mother, not once, and blamed it on the FBI kidnapping and conspiracy theories. So this is really a really sad situation, child. What do y'all think about it? Time for extensive mental health assessment. Yeah, at some point, I would love for technology and the medicinal world to advance to a place where they're able to diagnose CTE while people are still alive. Because as it stands, CTE can only be successfully diagnosed or identified in a dead person. So a person has to pass, and then they take their brain and they analyze it, and then can they confirmed that there is CTE actually present in that person's brain. So there's no way to diagnose CTE on a living person. And I can't wait until the day science actually goes forward to the point where they can. And then there are some things that people, certain supervisions and things that they shouldn't be allowed to do if they do have CTE, because they're a danger to themselves and others, especially depending on what level it is. I mean, you've got CTE, but is every level of CTE the same level? Is it level 1? Is it level 5? Is it level 10? Who knows? But also they still need to be held accountable. Like I said, not making excuses. So it is what it is. Like I said, imagine growing to be 73 years old, and the last thing you see and the last thing you know is that you're taken out and beaten to death by your own child. Your own child. It's very sickening, saddening, concerning, and all that other stuff. Be careful out here. Mind your mental health. Like I tell y'all all the time, things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. But when it comes to real life, people like you and I, outside of us just talking all of this celebrity stuff and what's going on with people that are far out of our tax brackets, mind your mental health. When people have mental health and they're living with mental health, not to create any stigma, but protect yourself regardless of who they are, what your proximity is to them, what perks and benefits you may get out of being in proximity to them. Protect yourself and get the hell out of Dodge, no matter who they are, what their status is. Get the hell out of Dodge and protect yourself and the people you care about. That's just a little mid sticky note. Okay. So this story is it's sad, but I've been following it. So that's the update on Sergio Brown's situation. Okay. So I have a lot of other thoughts on people who play sports that cause a lot of trauma to the body, but I won't get into it right now because, again, people don't like to fully listen. They'll just be like, you're making excuses, and I'm not making excuses. But we can talk about the wear and tear on the body and all the trauma to the body of people who play sports. We can do that at a later time. All right, do that at a later time, baby. I'm glad they caught him somehow, some way. I'm glad somebody called the police.
Police! Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
I'm glad somebody called the police on him, child. I'm glad they did. Now, let's get into our next story. Let's try to turn it around a little bit because that energy got a little dark, a little quick. So, you know what? Should we get into Black history? I think we should. Well, first of all, shout out to the 90s babies. Let's start there. Shout out to the 90s babies. Put a 6 in the chat if you're a 90s baby. Okay? Let's turn this energy around a little bit. A shout out to the 90s babies. All right? So, a Doug sequel series is in the works, okay? So apparently Doug and Patty gonna have some kids, child. Who remembers Doug Funny from back in the day when we was getting ready for school? Okay. Who remembers? This was one of my things. And he had that little crush on Patty. I'm like, okay. So I thought it was done. Okay. I thought it was done. I would have never thought that they were going to be bringing it back, but they are. Okay, so the creator of Doug, his name is Jim Jenkins, and he confirms that he is in early development of a sequel series for Disney Plus. Now, it's going to be called Doug's Kids, and this series is going to focus on Doug and Patty Mayonnaise, in which they're going to be adults, they're going to be married, they have 2 kids, and the show is also going to feature adult versions of Skeeter, Roger, Judy, Chalky, and other original characters. So Doug is going to be 33 years old. The fans of Doug have grown up, and maybe some of them have gotten married and have kids. So the idea of bringing Doug back, it has real power in it because there's a huge amount of relatability. So, yes, if you was born in 89, you still a 90s baby. That's okay. We're going to let you in the club. But this is coming back, and I found it to be really interesting. It caught my eyes. So I'm actually going to be anxious to watch that because I ain't going to hold you. Nick Jr. in the morning, it used to be my jump off when I was getting ready for school. Okay? It used to be my jump off for real, for real. It really did. So that is that. I think that what I'm going to do right now, and let me know if you will watch it. Put a 7 in the chat if you would actually watch a rerun or reboot, should I say, of Doug Funny. Let me know, let me know, let me know. I'm curious to know. So let's go ahead and get into more Black news, child. We got more Black news to get into. And thank y'all for hitting thumbs up on the video. If you haven't already taken a moment to subscribe to this channel for more syrup in the form of Black news and celebrity updates, please make sure you take the moment to do so. I would greatly appreciate it. And it just ensures that you're not going to miss out on any of the sticky syrup, you know, aka the spicy tea over here on this channel. Let's get into our next story.
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some Black, and she said, loves me some Black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into our next story, which is about this young man. And I've been covering this story since it happened. And of course, I easily relate to this story, right? You see my hair, you see what type of hair I have. I'm locked. I'm locked as this young man is. And locks and hair for Black people, whether they be braids, locks, sister locks, kinky twists, whatever it is, our hair is our crown. It's our strength. And actually, our hair has even been used to help us survive throughout the years, whether it had been when our ancestors were trying to escape slavery and they're braiding the map of the escape route into our hair, whether it been us running away from slavery and then putting rice inside of our hair and then braiding our hair up so that when we got to where we needed to go, we could unbraid our hair and the rice would fall out and we would have food to eat. Our hair has a really deep cultural message for us and meaning for us as Black people. So as you know, this young man is 18 years old and they suspended him from school because they have a quote unquote policy where the boys are allegedly not allowed to wear their hair where it passes their eyebrows. His hair is done up. It's not even hanging loose and free. And if it was, I don't see why that's a problem, but his hair is up. So technically it is not extending past his eyebrows. And the whole time this story has been happening, his hair has not been, he's been on the news several times along with his parents and Ben Crump and his attorneys and everybody else. And his hair still hasn't been down past his eyebrows. He's had it braided up in a style the entire time. So it definitely is reeking of discrimination. And so now he is going to be sent to an alternative school. Okay, so he's going to be sent to an alternative school. And I just find this to be crazy. So his parents he and his family, they are filing a suit because they do feel like this is discrimination. After a month, after actually more than a month of in-school suspension over his locks, this is happening in Texas. Now, he's being told that he's going to be removed from the high school and sent to a disciplinary alternative education program on Thursday. So that is just tomorrow. And again, he's a junior at Barbers High School, and he's been suspended since August the 31st. So he's going to be sent to an alternative school called Epic from October 12th through November the 29th for, quote, failure to comply with multiple campus and classroom regulations, according to the principal. Okay. And so the principal said that he has repeatedly violated the standards of student conduct, and also that he's going to be allowed to return to the classroom on November 30th, but he won't be allowed to return to the campus until then, unless he's going to discuss his conduct with school administrators. So again, they say that the boys can't have their hair extending below their eyebrows, their earlobes, or top of a t-shirt collar. And this is according to the student handbook. So what his parents are arguing is the fact that his hair is cultural. He's African American. And also the Crown Act is something recent that passed down in Texas. It's not there in all states, but the Crown Act took effect on September 1st down in Texas. And the Crown Act, if you don't know, it is an acronym for Create a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. And it's intended to prohibit race-based hair discrimination and bars employers and schools from penalizing people or discriminating against people because of their hair texture or their protective styles, including afros, braids, locks, twists, as well as Bantu knots. So there are laws to protect Black people and their crown and their hairstyles, but you still have some organizations and institutions who are like, you know what? I don't give a damn about that law. I don't want you in here with that hair, nigga. Boy, I don't want you in here with that hair. So comb it out, cut it off, or don't come in here. It's 2023. It's 2023. Okay. So you know that justice is a slow wheel to turn. So there is a lawsuit already being filed for discrimination, but in the meantime, he's missing out on his education because all of this is taking place. Who knows how long it's going to take for this lawsuit to actually make it to court and be settled and everything else. This is his junior year. So this is a really disheartening story to see. And I know that some people, their thought process is just take him out to school and put him in another one. But somebody has to fight that fight. Everybody can't keep, quote unquote, running from that school. Somebody has to stand up and secure rights and be the example so that everybody behind them has rights to wear their hair in its natural state without having to cut it or permit or whatever the case is, right? So this is a really courageous act for not only him, but his family who is standing behind him. So this takes a lot. My heart goes out to him and his family, and I really wish him the best. This is really unfortunate. You know, imagine if every Black person that came there that had locks either cut their hair or just left, this institution would be left without any challenges and be allowed to continue to discriminate against people of color and people with our hair texture. And it's not fair. So somebody has to be the example. I mean, Rosa Parks could have easily went to the back of the bus, right? Or she could have got off the bus along with the women who came before Rosa Parks. But she decided, no, not today. Not today. So these are the types of things that Black people stand for, and everybody's not going to get it. Some people don't want to be, quote unquote, bothered with the hassle of fighting the system. But, you know, if you have it in you, do it. If you truly feel like you don't and your life is in danger, then that's up to you and your family to deal with. But I think that it's really courageous of him and his family to be taking this on, truly. Honestly. Although it's sad that they have to be dealing with this, it's great that they are taking it on. Okay. So let's get into the next story, which is extremely unfortunate. Since we're talking about schools and Black people being treated unfairly, let's get into this next story.
I'm angry, but just happy it wasn't worse.
These past few days have been tough for the Temple family.
Okay, so just to give you a little bit of context and backstory, a 12-year-old boy was a student. He was brutally, someone took a knife to him at school. And this was a racially motivated attack. So this is a Black boy. So you've got non-Black students who literally took a knife to his head. All right. Let's take a look at this. This is Ooh, it's enough to make you mad. Enough to make you want to show up to the parents of the students responsible's house and really commit some acts.
1 week ago, 12-year-old Teddy was in art class when another student came after him.
And then I just see the door open, and then he just rushes at me, and then he stabs me in my head. And then I thought it was a roller, and then I started seeing like my blood, like it started coming down. I started screaming.
Teddy says his friends called 911, getting paper towels for his head. He says he ran to the nurse's office for help and was quickly sent to Children's Hospital.
And so when I got there, you know, his head and face was all bloody, and the doctors all around him. It was just heartbreaking.
Teddy's dad, Theodore, says the classmate who attacked his son used to be his friend, but over the last year, he says the student would call Teddy racial slurs, even making threats against him. He believes the color of Teddy's skin is why his son was attacked.
It was just totally because of his race. That was the sole reason why. And he had every intention of killing him. He fractured his skull.
Now that student is facing charges, including attempted murder and bias-motivated crime. In court today, Theodore says hearing details of what the student was planning was terrifying.
Even now, when I saw the child in court, I mean, to be honest, he looked small, you know, innocent. You know, his mother was crying. I mean, my heart breaks for them.
But 1 week after the attack, Teddy is slowly recovering. Theodore said what happened to his son and why is still hard to fully comprehend. Still, he's grateful it wasn't worse.
You know, thankful no one else got hurt.
After he was stabbed, Teddy received staples in his head and stitches in his shoulder. 1 week later, he tells me he's already feeling a lot better with minimal pain. His dad, Theodore, says
Rolex on your wrist, plethora.
So, you know, these flower arrangers, if they were quote unquote once your friend, you know, children aren't the best judges of character, but the fact that this child thought that those students, those flower arranger students were his friends, the fact that he thought that they were his friends mean that they were doing some phony stuff to make him believe that. Once a racist, almost always a racist. So they didn't just, they weren't your friend last week and then just turned racist this week. They've always had those underlying feelings boiling up. That's why you got to be careful about who you truly consider to be an ally to you. You've got to be really careful. One person that I think was a true ally was Jane Elliott, right? Because if you remember Jane Elliott in that interview, white woman, in these college classes, she asked all that class full of white students, nothing but white students, raise your hand if you would want to be treated like a black person. Raise your hand if you would want to be treated like a black person. All of them sat there looking crazy and nobody raised their hand, but they wanted to argue that racism didn't exist. If racism doesn't exist, why the hell don't you want to be treated like a black person if black people are making it up? And there is no real discrimination or oppression or foul or sideways treatment in undertones and mannerisms. Why wouldn't you want to raise your hand? One girl got so upset, she started crying and stormed out the room because she had no clue how to really handle and answer that question. She had a nervous breakdown, just like the person in the video that I placed at the very beginning of this video. How do you not want to be, you acknowledge that you don't want to be treated as shitty as black people, but then you're saying racism doesn't exist and black people are making it up. She applied pressure. She used her privilege to apply pressure to help white people see and understand and to make them uncomfortable within their own privilege. However, I say all this to say, this shit makes you want to homeschool your kids. This little boy is 12 years old and is the victim of a hate crime with a knife. How the hell did that knife get into that middle school? What middle schooler is thinking to bring a knife to school to stab a black child in the head? In this news clip, you could see the stitches in his head. Reminds me of the story I did on my old channel of the little black boy who went to the sleepover of all those white kids. And those little white kids pissed in a cup and made the little black boy drink it because the black boy was living with a learning disability. So he almost didn't know any better, but they were also bullying him at the same time. So you pretended to be his friend so much so that his mother thought it was okay for him to, his mother thought that they were friends, although they were different colors, that he went over there for a sleepover and they recorded him drinking that urine and uploaded it to Snapchat. Listen. Nobody's saying all white people are bad. But in the words of Muhammad Ali, are all white people bad? No. But am I going to take my chances? Just like all snakes aren't poisonous. All snakes aren't venomous. But does that mean that every time a snake knock on my door, I'm going to open it and entertain and try to figure out if it's venomous or not? So, and there's another story that comes to mind too, but there was a matter of fact, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This story took place out of Philly, and this woman had a little black boy who was playing for the football team. He was pretty much the only black person on the football team. Well, there is this TikTok challenge, and the TikTok challenge is for you to initiate it by walking up and asking them if they prayed today. Hey, did you pray today? And whatever the answer is, they then do something to you. Well, these little boys decided to sodomize the black boy. The white boys decided to sodomize, and they play on the same football team, and the boy is in middle school. Sticking things up the boy's butt. So you have to be careful leaving your children around people who look different than them. And that's not to say it in a discriminatory way, but you just got to be careful. Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. I just say they need supervision, not to say they shouldn't be allowed to play. And some people think, hey, we need to bring segregation back because we're safer that way. All I'm saying is I can totally understand 1,000% why a lot of people want to homeschool their kids, because it's dangerous out here in these schools. It's not even about it being dangerous in the streets. It's dangerous in these schools. Between what's going on with these teachers and the teachers being assaulted and the teachers doing things, they throwing chairs at teachers and knocking the teachers unconscious. If your child was standing right there when I was throwing the chair, the child could have been caught in the crossfire, collateral damage. You never know. You know, the school shootings and everything else. You just don't know. I just can't imagine what it's like to be a parent and to trust that your kid is going to come back to you home safe every day after school. Because look at what's going on in these schools. Whether it's the teachers having inappropriate relations with the children, whether it's the children doing inappropriate stuff to the children, whether it's the teachers being in fear that the children are going to do something to them. You can't win for losing. We're living in some very crazy times. We're living in some very, very crazy times. We really are. So stay safe. Stay safe. Okay. Not even that. Remember Black Wall Street and the story of Lake Lanier? Oh, yes, absolutely. Lake Lanier straight buried the entire town because it was thriving, and Black Wall Street straight burned it down because it was thriving. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, you just got to be careful. You use your discernment with who it is that you trust. That's not to say that you can't have people that are close to you, that are friends who are, but really spend some good time vetting them. Really spend some good time vetting them. For real. Okay? Because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I couldn't imagine a 12-year-old being stabbed in the head at school. Crazy. Okay? So let's go ahead and, let's turn this thing around. Let's go ahead and turn this thing around. I'm going to get to the super chats, the super stickers, the membership messages, and the cash apps in just a second. Give me a second to just sit back and catch my breath for 60 seconds, and we're going to continue with the show. Thank y'all for being here and for coming out. We do still have some more stories for you, so sit tight. Don't go nowhere. Drop some pancakes in the chat and hit the like button. I'll catch you in 60 seconds.
Get into this Black-owned business, Stickies. It's got things for inside your home, outside your home, and even on the go. JasmineMadeIt.com is your new destination for Black Girl Magic mugs, tumblers, and even wine glasses. You can even customize the tumblers and wine glasses. There's a lot going on for a low price over at JasmineMadeIt.com. And if you've been serious about wanting to support more Black-owned businesses, here's your chance. Let JasmineMadeIt.com handle all your problems for family and friends. You ever had a friend over and they just wasn't catching the hint or paying the rent?
Our asses all get to stepping.
Yeah, tell them to get to stepping with this nostalgic Martin-themed doormat and shop over a dozen different doormat designs over on JasmineMadeIt.com. All right, Stickies, you know what time it is. It's time to put your money where your mouth is and shop Black today. Make life easier for you and your household by taking your family's hot or cold beverages on the go with one of these unique tumblers. It's insulated to keep your beverage at temperature, and it comes with a few different reusable straws and even the specific brush that you need to wash it so you can keep it sanitized and germ-free. They've got all kinds of designs to match your mood or style. So grab something for your wife, the hubby, or even the kids over on JasmineMadeIt.com. That's JasmineMadeIt.com, and I'll see you over there.
All right, don't forget, I do trust this brand and I like this brand. I don't push anything to y'all that I don't stand behind and that I haven't quality tested for myself. So I love this brand. I trust it, and you can use my code Jane for 10% off of your purchase. And there is no minimum purchase requirement, okay? This is good for hot or cold beverages. And I think I've had this for it's probably going on a year now. So yes, I absolutely love this cup, and I need to order some more of them. All right. So let's go ahead and keep this going. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to BBC Radio. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So yes, let's go ahead and keep this thing pushing. Y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, baby. So what I want to get into is this video that went viral. Cracked me up, baby, because one thing about Black people, we have an unspoken language, okay? All it takes is a certain look, facial expression, body language, hand gesture, something, and baby, we communicate without saying a word. You hear me? So let's get into this.
I'm gonna take a bite of this Polish dog and see what this is all about. Let me get a bite of this. Pretty good. Pretty good. Man, this is really good, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
First of all, he took a bite and shook his head no at first, right? That's number one. That's number one.
Polish dog and see what this is all about. Let me get a bite of this.
So he shook his head no, then he changed it to a yes because he realized he had work. And then he kept all of the meat at the side. Pause. He kept all of the meat at the side of his mouth.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Man, this is really good, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, man. And back to everyone.
My man's was refusing to swallow that meat. You heard me.
To you.
Bring back a hot dog for everyone, Jalen.
First of all, the Black people back at the studio already knew that hot dog was not it. First of all, the other thing that got me was the lady in the background. Bring back a hot dog for all of us, Jay. Knowing damn well she ain't want no parts of them hot dogs. They already know what it was. Like, look at this lady's face as soon as the camera went back to her. She already knew.
Come on the show today, man. And back to everyone. Back to you.
Bring back a hot dog for everyone, Jalen.
Jalen's having a great time out at the fair. You can head out to the fair to October 22nd, and it's going to be a great time.
Roll us on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Jeff, don't laugh. Jeff, don't. Oh, damn. Jeff, stop laughing, man. Jeffrey. Oh my gosh, man. This don't even make any sense. That's crazy.
Jalen, bring back a hot dog for everyone, Jalen. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, that was funny. That lady's face was
Bring back a hot dog for everyone, Jalen.
Jalen's having a great time out at the fair. You can head out to the fair to October 22nd.
There is nothing that hits better than a black person trying not to laugh when they're trying to be professional. Oh, I love it. I love my people. I love my people. Oh, my goodness. That was funny. Oh. Woo. Chow. Oh, that was funny. Shout out to Jalen. Shout out to Jalen. I want to talk to Jalen behind the scenes and just know what all was wrong with that damn sausage dog. Sound like he was a sausage dog. Why would you? What was really going on? But Jalen got to keep his job, so I wouldn't out it. But I want to know. I want to know exactly what's going on here. Okay, that's just me. I want to know what's happening. Oh, okay. So, child, we got to talk about Cardi B. And some people want to be left out this group chat too. But I'm going to just touch on it because I seen that this morning. Y'all don't even want to know what time I woke up. But I was up early this morning and I saw some stuff. Oh, Lord, we got to talk about Halle Bailey too. Just briefly. Okay, Cardi. Look, babes, if you are really feeling this down and out, it's time for you to log off. And it's really starting to come off like an act now. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not. But I'm really just trying to either figure out what's going on with your psyche or stop this game and this gimmick. Because most would say that this is sympathy and payola, right? Most would say that this is sympathy and payola coming from Cardi B. Okay. So somebody basically called her work ethic mid. They essentially called her lazy. You know, long story short, they're calling Cardi B lazy. Okay. So here's what I said to these tweets. I said, if you truly want to off yourself because somebody called your work ethic mid, well, then it's time for you to log off and seek professional help, Bookie. It really is. So here's what happened. You might have seen it on the blogs yesterday or late last night. And someone said, Cardi's the only Mexican I know that don't work hard. Basically calling her lazy or saying she doesn't have much of a work ethic, if at all. And look at what Cardi said. Really? We get that deep. That's like somebody saying, you know what? You know what, Jane? I don't like your fucking videos and you take too long to get to the point. And I'm like, you know what? I hope your mom. Like that's an extreme. Like that. It's a way for you to get even with trollish comments without having to always jump there. But this is what Cardi always does. She stays jumping at somebody's mother. I've seen her say, I hope that someone pours acid on your mom's face. She's always basically hoping that people's moms pass away, like all the time. And it's just a bit absurd. And then she turns around after saying stuff like that and says, that she wants to DIE. I just want to put a bullet in my head. I'm like, girl, if a comment that says that you lazy or your work ethic is mid makes you want to do all that, then log off, Pookie. What is this? Is coming off like part of your rollout. It seemed like you and Nikki are rolling out around. It seemed like Nikki's stuff is going to drop before yours. And it seemed like you want to do everything to soak up and cause more drama amid Nikki's rollout to kind of distract and throw that off. And it's this sympathy for me. This is like the 8th time Cardi done said, oh, I just want to go meet Jesus. Oh, I just want to off myself. And it's just like, this can't possibly, we're tired of the gimmicks. Roll your album out and roll it out in the right way without causing drama or being mean. Just release the music if you're confident in the music. It's been like 6 years and we've only got one album. It's a very valid critique and question. Where's the music? And in order for her to feel successful, what Cardi does all the time is she causes drama. She says that she wants to off herself. She does one very high budget music video. The most recent high budget music video will be the one with her and Meg that she kind of thought was going to be a WAP too, but it was bongos. And is hoping that all of that drama and the Skims thing is going to help to sell the record. And it's really played out. The fact that it's not talent that you using to sell your records. It's these gimmicks and these social media stunts that you are doing to sell your records. That's the really sad part, is that you're not even relying on your own talent. If you truly have wanted to off yourself this many times, you should have been called the suicide hotline. You should have been had your team having you sitting down with a therapist. Has anybody ever heard Cardi B talk about a therapist or therapy? Anybody? Okay. So, and I remember when Cardi B linked up with Lizzo, was it like around about the Hercules time? And Lizzo was kind of pulling similar stunts. And it's like, Lizzo, you're way too talented for that. You know? So it's like the sad fishing, the sympathy, the payola. It's just a bit too much at this point. How many times is this supposed to be believable? And shout out to Got the Scoop, because Got the Scoop, I'm actually going to show y'all this this tweet. Because they called it. It's becoming very predictable at this point, which leads some people to believe that it's not genuine. Of course, if there's somebody who's thinking about harming themselves or others, it's like, yes, get help. And people should be concerned and lend some grace and empathy. But if it seems like you're abusing it, it's like, well, what's going on? So shout out to Got the Scoop on October 9th. Now, mind you, today is October the 18th. On October 9th, Got the Scoop said, I literally said yesterday, be aware of the suicidal talk again. She will drag this depression story until November when it gets hectic. So these blogs are paying real close attention to her tactics and her gimmicks. The fact that somebody called this 9 days ago is crazy. It's crazy. And here we are. Somebody said that you're lazy and I want to put a bullet in my head. Like what? So, you know, this is where we are. I just wanted to touch on that really quickly because it's just really sad what's going on with women and music, hip hop, R&B, pop in general. It's sad. It's sad, whether it's the botched BBLs, the addiction to being under the knife in general. Cardi don't look nowhere near the same as she looked when she first came out. The perpetual ratchetness and promiscuity, that's the ratchetness, the sexy reds, the Sukiana breaking down, talking about, I'm tired of people holding my past against me. Everybody done some whole shit. Baby, it was only a couple of weeks ago when you was pissing out that motor oil and Flint water with the rose on your OnlyFans thinking it was cute. It's not. That's not your past, baby. That's very much your present. Not to mention, this is a clip that just came out, and Suki is crying because she has marketed and branded herself as a hoe. And then she's crying, and this was something that was filmed 3 months ago. And then the Flintwater motor oil pee video came out, and she talked about this squirt. Baby, that's not squirt. You were peeing, and you need to detox. You were peeing straight Mountain Dew. Thinking it's cute. Wiggling your toes. I wish I had never seen it. You mad talking about people holding your past against you, and it's clearly your present day behavior. You don't want to be removed from that. I mean, we are in a very depressing state entertainment-wise. You got the Sukianas and the Sexy Reds doing what they doing, and the Cardi Bs and the Summer Walkers with that botch BBL and the Asian dolls, and then you got Will and Jada doing what they doing too. Everybody just exploiting the worst of themselves, and you got the Erica Menas, and then it's too much. Who does that?
Who does that? Yeah.
We need some education.
Education, special education, psychiatric medication, juvenile incarceration, emotional frustration, and premature extermination.
You know, Iyanla Van Zandt is very much a troll, but I need I need her to get some of y'all together. I do. I need Iyanla to get some of y'all together, because some of y'all are doing too much. I need her to come and tell y'all about yourself. I'm gonna need her to get y'all together. Yeah, I said it. She's a troll. She's a troll. Iyanla is. If y'all don't know that Iyanla is a troll, you sleep. You're very much sleep. Here, this picture alone can prove to you that this lady is a troll. Look at this. Look. If y'all can't tell from this picture that this lady is a troll, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Let's take a look.
These lyrics to Dorothy Day.
This is now, although Iyanla gets on my nerves and she is a 70-year-old pick-me, I need her to read. I need her to talk to some of these young ladies the way she talking to Hazel E right now. Look at this. Look at this. When I tell you she is a troll, baby, in every sense of the word, that lady is a damn troll. But every now and then, she be on it. Okay, every now and then, she pop my butt, pop my. You know what that meant to her. Oh my goodness. Oh, I cannot. Oh, please. You telling her you had it all? All she wanted was a seat on the bus. Oh, that lady is a trip. Okay. Oh, let me bring myself back. Miss Data bus driver. Okay. Okay. let's get into this story right here. This story is crazy. And this mugshot, I feel, is very telling. Okay, let's turn and hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already hit the thumbs button, hit that thumbs up button. It is free. You don't have to send a cash app. Matter of fact, let's get into let me acknowledge the people who have sent something. AMK has been a member. Well, Mia Lynn joined the membership. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. AMK sent a message. He's been a member for 19 months. I got to that one already. Tiara Hill sent a $4.99 super chat and says, love you and thanks for your amazing content. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support and viewership. And then also Shay Jim Dropper says, why do the drills want active shooters when you're giving them the info to the shooter too? Yeah, that's a good point. That was in reference to one of the stories that I did probably about like 20 minutes ago. And also for the Cash App, shout out to Tony and Jolita for sending Cash Apps. I do appreciate all of you all as well. Okay, so we got into that. Pop my butt, pop my butt, babe. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this next story. This story right here, the mugshot is, girl, you don't care? Like, damn, like, it's one thing to smile at your mugshot, but it's another thing to do the duck lip and act like, yeah. Like, what is this? This ain't nothing to be proud of. Florida woman arrested for shooting and killing a 90-year-old with a rifle while filming TikToks. Baby, I don't know what you smiling for, but I don't think that you should be smiling. Like, what's wrong in today's episode of what the hell is wrong with y'all? Okay, so let's get into this story. I'm gonna read y'all the details. Okay, so this 20-year-old woman, she's 20, and she think it's a game. She think it's time to take the best selfie or whatever. So a 20-year-old woman was arrested nearly 5 months after she allegedly shot and killed a 19-year-old girl with a rifle while she was filming TikToks. And this is according to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. So her name is Mariah Clayton, and she was arrested and charged with manslaughter on October the 6th for the incident that happened on May 24th, resulting in the death of Anaya. Now, a warrant for her arrest was issued on October the 5th. So on May 24th, officers responded to Memorial Hospital in Jacksonville when they were notified of a shooting victim that was driven there, according to the arrest affidavit. Now, she was found with a single gunshot wound to her abdomen and ultimately passed away from her injuries. So officers also detained the driver and the other passenger in the car. So the driver and the passenger originally told officers that they saw that that the lady that was 19 years old, that she was suffering from the gunshot wound as she was walking on the sidewalk. And they told the officers that they picked her up and took her to the hospital. Now, later on, the two told the officials what happened, that the incident happened at an apartment complex. So the driver stated he arrived at an apartment to buy some marijuana. And when they got there, the residents said that the woman shot herself and needed a ride to the hospital. Now, he reluctantly agreed to take them to the hospital. But when he arrived to the hospital, they were met by police. The driver said, listen, I wasn't in the apartment at the time of the shooting, and I don't know what happened. And police said that they were able to corroborate his story via cell phone location data. Now, officers also stated that when she was arrested, this 20-year-old woman, Clayton, that the woman who was injured and another man were in the bathroom filming TikTok videos with a rifle. Now, she reportedly said that she handled the rifle inappropriately, even after she was told that she shouldn't be playing with it. So while she was holding the weapon discharged, striking the 19-year-old deceased and causing her death. She was booked on $250,000 bond, aka $250,000. Okay. So this is sick. If she had a bit of remorse, it might come off differently, but playing with guns ain't no joke. At the very least, if she wanted some sympathy or some empathy with her sentencing, when it comes time for them to really sentence her, she could have at least looked scared or remorseful. Listen, dressing appropriately and showing remorse, it does count in the court of the law. If you're coming off flat out arrogant and the judge sees it, the judge and or the jury is they're going to have a different way of looking at your repercussions for whatever you are alleged to have done. So y'all remember Meatball, everybody must eat, all that looting that was going on in Philly. She had tears rolling down her eyes and everything. And whether those tears were genuine or not, which I think that they were, but whether they were genuine or not, she came off as scared and remorseful. Like, dang, I didn't think I was going to get arrested or whatever the case is. This girl is coming off like gang, gang. All that was missing was some fingers and a gang sign in her mugshot. Why would you? And this is a very pretty girl too, not to mention, and the wig is laid nice. The baby hairs are a little thick, but you know, she's pretty. So it's like, why are you so proud and thuggish ruggish? It's the thuggish ruggish bone. Why are you so thuggish ruggish bone in this mugshot? And you only 20 years old. Are you really about that life? Are you really ready for that? Have you ever been to jail before? Do you have a record? Is she really ready for what she about to be put through with these women who have been living a life in jail for a decade, 5 to 10 plus years? I'm not sure she's ready. I don't know if she watches these shows with the jails, whether it be 60 Days In, Beyond Scared Straight, and everything else. But it is no joke when you back there. You can call a guard when you're being assaulted or whatever the case is. Baby, they're not coming to save you. As a matter of fact, they're going to relish in watching you being demolished by these people who are seasoned by the prison industrial complex. This is really sad to see how much it is a badge of honor from what I'm taking from this mugshot is, yeah, I did it, and what? Like, this is not a badge of honor, babes. It's not a badge of honor. You in that holding cell and wherever they booked you in this precinct versus where you're going to be when they sentence you, two totally different worlds. Two totally different worlds. But, you know, hey, this is an unfortunate story. Those are my thoughts on the stories. But listen, Stickies, I pass the question off to you. What are your final thoughts and unanswered questions pertaining to this young lady and what she did? Why was y'all in the bathroom playing with loaded rifles anyway? Loaded rifles. I don't even understand why people would play with fake guns, you know, to be honest, let alone a real one and one that's loaded. It's giving you got the same IQ as Krishan. But I don't even think Krishan would do that. She's dumb. Krishan is dumb in other ways. But ooh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't.
But you're not. Stop it! I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this. When my mother yells at this, it's because she loves me. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this. You go to bed at night, you lay there, and you take responsibility for yourself.
But I pass the question on to you, Stickies. What are your thoughts and where do you land with this story? Okay. Like I said, if you're looking for ways to support the show, this is crazy. If you're looking for ways, see, listen, we're going to get into it all on this show. We're going to get into the serious stuff, the viral stuff, the funny stuff. There's just so much, and I like to keep a balance, right? If we talk about all serious stuff, then we're going to be sad and depressed all day. It's like watching the news. If you just watch the regular news, it's just a string of negativity, and it's enough to depress you. So I'm going to get into the serious stuff, the funny stuff, the viral stuff, and stuff that's just worth having a conversation about. That's what we do over here. We keep it balanced on this bus ride. But if you're looking for ways to support the show, listen, consider hitting the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Okay, the subscribe button is right underneath. All right. You can send a Cash App or a Super Chat. Not required, but appreciated if you do. Okay. Now, I did want to get into this other funny story before we get into our other regular segments. Put an 8 in the chat if you have a pet and if your pet is black. Like, you know how you got certain pets and like Leo, he's straight up black, like black pet. Okay, let me give you the example. So what's going on? Let me give you some context before we get into this. This dog is going up the hallway and the dog sees the ghost decoration, the ghost Halloween decoration on the door. And the dog was like, hold on, wait a minute. Y'all see that shit? Wait, hold on, look. Dog said, listen, you see that shit? What's that damn ghost? That dog is not playing. Do you hear me? That dog is black. That dog is not, that dog don't play with no ghosts. You know, black people in scary movies and scary instances, we'd be like, one inkling of scary shit and be like, oh, let's get the hell out of here. Whereas, you know, the flower rangers and the lights lieutenants and the white people, they'd be like, oh, let's go explore. The house told us to get out. Let's go see what else is going on in this scary house. Oh, no, bitch. We're out of there. Do you hear what I'm saying? We're not playing these games. We're not playing these games. This is a black ass dog. You hear me? Dog ain't playing. All right.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Okay, that dog is not having it. Okay, get that dog. That dog is not playing. Stop playing with that dog, with that ghost in that hallway. Okay. Well, don't fuck with no ghosts.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Oh, let me know if you got black pets at your house. Put an 8 in the chat. Put an 8 in the chat if you got a black pet at your house. My cat is definitely black. When it's too cold, when it's rainy, when it's windy, baby, the dog ain't bugging up. Well, the cat ain't messing with it. My cat is definitely a black cat. Okay, he is not playing these games with you. He is going to cuss you out. He is going, when he's scared of something, he ain't messing with it. My cat is black. All right. My cat is black. Well, not my cat, because never mind. We're not talking about sexy red lyrics, but because my cat not black. My cat is another color. But anyway, so moving on. Y'all get it? Y'all get it. So let's go ahead and get into our Black History moment. I know a lot of y'all might click off because some of y'all don't. Oh, y'all want drama more than y'all want Black History. It's okay. It's okay. But guess what? When y'all all on my bus, you're going to learn today. We're going to get a little bit of Black History today. Let go.
Now, let's spend a little bit of time with our ancestors, or at least listening to them, because you know they always tell us you don't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. So let's get into a little bit of Black History with this Black History moment.
You in that crowd.
They got me in the system. Why they gotta do me like that?
And I know I can be what I wanna be what I wanna be.
We've got love for y'all, which I don't cover.
About the city.
Get down.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, I love that mix that I put together for that. All right, I put them songs together. I'm like, what are all the Black Power songs and how can I mix them together? And I think I did a damn good job doing so. All right, so let's get into this. Now, 55 years ago today, Tommie Smith and John Carlos performed the Black Power salute at the Olympics that outraged millions of white Americans. Good for them. Good for them. This was an act of protest by the United States athletes Tommie Smith and John Carlos during their medal ceremony at the 1968 Summer Olympics in the Olympic Stadium in Mexico City. As they turned their flags to hear the American national anthem, which was the Star-Spangled Banner, they each raised a black gloved fist and kept them raised until the anthem had finished. Now, Smith and Carlos and Australian silver medalist Peter Norman all wore human rights badges on their jackets. Now, this was an event that has been regarded as one of the most overly political statements in the history of the modern Olympic Games. Both athletes were kicked off of the U.S. team for their protest. Now, that's taking a stand for justice, putting yourself in quote unquote harm's way in a social sense. You're putting your career in harm's way to make a stance about how Black people are treated in the United States and really nationwide at that time. That's some really ballsy and bold stuff to do. And kudos and shout outs to them for actually taking that stand and doing something to stand for us. We've seen this play out in modern history, and some of the same things still happen. Kaepernick never recovered from what he did, even though he's racially ambiguous, but he is Black presenting considering his hair texture. And he decided to take a stand for the Black part of his identity and Black people. And his career, when it comes to his sport, never recovered. So this is something that's happened in history time after time after time. So kudos and shout outs to Tommie Smith and John Carlos. Okay. Shout outs to them. Shout outs to them. Someone in the chat said, so Kaepernick didn't do it first? Absolutely not. I believe Kaepernick was potentially inspired by the people who have came before him. That's not to take anything away from what he did, right? But he wasn't the first to do it. Absolutely not. This happened 55 years ago, okay? 1968. So this is something that's been going on for a while. And I wanted to bring that to y'all's attention. If you don't know where you came from, then you probably don't know where you're going. How can you know where you're going if you don't know where you came from and what your history is? There's so much Black history. It doesn't matter how much Black history you know, that you see, or that you're aware of. There's always something that you can learn and that you can be reminded of to take with you present day to help you persevere through the modern day forms of racism and discrimination. Racism ain't went nowhere. Discrimination ain't went nowhere. Oppression ain't went nowhere. And to be quite frank with you, slavery hasn't went anywhere either, because mentally we are still enslaved by the way that we are programmed, by the way that we spend money, by the way that we consume media that is harmful and detrimental to us and our children, and so on and so forth. So slavery and all of those oppressive, with the patriarchy, that stuff has been modernized. And we're still held back and we're still treated unfairly. So we need to modernize the way that we were fighting for our freedom and to take a stand and to speak up and out against this bullshit that happens to us day in and day out. So these reminders are very necessary. It might spark, I might not be the one that actually sparks the idea of, hey, we should do this to combat that. I might not be the one that actually comes up with that idea, but if I keep reminding you of what our ancestors did way back when, you might be the one to modernize that idea of how they combated those things. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna continue to kick out Black history to y'all as much as I can. We can sit here and we can talk about these celebrities. We can talk about goofy, viral, social media, trending news. But I'm going to talk about Black history too, because it's necessary. It's necessary. It is. It is. And no, I'm not Tupac. I ain't doing no Jada Pinkett, right? But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay. So that is that. Okay. Had to get y'all a little bit of Black history up in here. We ain't just about to sit up here and goof around and talk about what these celebrities doing without talking about our honorable ancestors and all that they did, the sacrifices that they made and what they went without and what they lost to better things for us and the generations that came after them. That is some very important stuff. And it is important that we remember our history so that revisionist history doesn't wipe out what we know to have truly happened. Revisionist history is a motherfucker. And they're rewriting it every day. They're trying to take it out of the schools and oh, we don't want to teach them about what slavery really was because it might make the white students feel guilty. Oh, we're supposed to feel bad for the students and what their great-great-granddaddies did to our ancestors. We're supposed to feel bad for them feeling guilty when we're still dealing with the effects and we still haven't truly healed from all that slavery did to us. Baby, sell that shit to somebody else. You ain't selling it to me. We're going to talk about this Black history day in and day out over here. That's what we're going to do. Okay? Period. Thank you for the balance. You are more than welcome, Monique. Always, yes, absolutely. Okay. So now it's time for us to get into my signature segment. Actually, all of my segments are pretty signature over here. But it's time to get into our signature segment. We're going to be backstage later on today. I have a couple of errands to run, and then I'll come back. If anything else that popped off, baby, I'm going to be live again, okay? Working from home today, and it ain't that much work to do. So I'm actually able to give y'all stories throughout the day. I saw somebody earlier said, you must be on vacation because we ain't never got a midday live on a weekday. Almost. You almost got it right, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to get into our sticky note. Feel free to tag me in your favorite trending topics on Instagram or on Twitter. Tag me, DM me any trending stories, and we will get on them as soon as possible. It is also important that you all follow the backup channel because we're going to be in between the main and the backup channel. I've tagged the backup channel in the title of this video. Here is the TPJ network. Okay. And also for members of the channel, there are going to be some backstage things going on this week as well. So expect a lot this week. And I do mean that. Expect a lot. All right. So drop some pancakes in the chat for me. We're going to get into the sticky note. If you are a channel member, drop your channel member emojis, whether it's the pancake or whatever the case is. We're going to get into our sticky note. I'm going to let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Some of y'all are getting ready for lunch. It's 1 o'clock right now over here in Baltimore. Lego, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already, and don't forget to subscribe.
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some Black, and she said, loves me some Black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
So wait a minute, you ain't joined the channel yet so that you can access special perks over here with the plainest Jane?
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Ooh, watch this. Hey, I'm the plainest Jane. I'm a cultural commentator and informant, and I provide sticky coverage on trending stories, Black news, Black culture, and everyday topics with a sticky, abstract perspective. So get familiar with the perks. I've carefully curated all of these things, and it's just a little exclusive glaze to amplify the way that you express yourself. So get comfortable, get used to our official emoji over here. That is the pancake stack, because it's always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, and especially when you spend the time over here with the plainest Jane. Like I said, I hope you enjoy the exclusive glaze that I've provided for you to amplify the way you express yourself, and I hope you enjoy the digital vibe. Hey, listen, I always want you to keep it sticky, but be sure to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. But most importantly, I hope that you're feeling all right, and hopefully you've had some time to tackle some of your invisible problems. I know I got a couple of new subscribers, and I just want to say thank y'all. I really do appreciate you. And if you're not quite feeling all right, this channel right here, once you join, it's going to help you kick back and decompress always, but it'll also keep you in the know with what's happening with the best Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. So again, get comfortable. The first drink is on me, all right? Act like you got some sense, and I'll see you around. But don't forget to keep it sticky 24/7 by following me on Instagram, but hit that notification bell so that you always know when I upload and you get your dose of syrup first. Now, with all that stickiness being said, the most important thing I want you to remember about this neck of the woods and the plainest Jane is Black Lives Matter. And if you don't agree,
Buy pumpkin. That would take you out. I don't play that shit.
Now you gotta go for real.
it's just that simple. Hey, look, whether you join or not, I do want you to stay beautiful, Black, and blessed. And just know I appreciate your support. I'm your girl, the plainest Jane. And let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. All right, and we are back. So we're going to get into today's sticky note. And listen, I don't know who this is for, but whoever it is that needs to hear this, do it afraid. Do it afraid. And to be quite frank, you get tested the most when you're approaching a new level. When you're approaching a new level, you'll realize there are so many things that you are tempted to go off about. About to say spaz, but that's a bad word now, right? There are so many things that are going to test you to break character and to do something that's not conducive to your goals or wherever it is that you are trying to go in life. You are tested the most when you are approaching a new level. And what you'll realize is if you don't function within your purpose, then you will be subject to dysfunction. If you are staying dormant, if you are complicit and complacent with where you are and it is nowhere in proximity to your purpose, if you are not functioning within your purpose, then you will be subject to dysfunction. And the main thing that I really want you to take from this is your storm is really a crash course. Your storm is a true crash course. It's a test full of lessons. And you can flunk out if you want to, but you'll be retested over and over again until you grasp the lessons and see the silver lining and pass. If you catch yourself in a rut of like you're on a merry-go-round just over and over again, the same type of problems keep creeping up. And I'm not talking every like 5 years, because sometimes it's okay. Like I'm not talking about people who just so happen to be like lost in life every 5 years, because that's me. Every 5 years in life, I tend to feel lost because I outgrow where I've been and I get bored and I want something else. I want something different. I want something more. I'm not talking about that, because there's something beautiful about being lost, because you have the ability to now find yourself, your new interests, your new purpose, and where you're growing towards and who you are evolving into. I'm talking about the merry-go-round of every 1 or 2, 3 months, you're in the same rut over and over and over again. There's something that you need to change, that you keep finding yourself in the same situation over and over and over again. And if you keep, God is going to, well, listen, I won't put God into it, right? Because some people are spiritual, some people are religious. The universe is going to continue to put you in the same storm and that same simulation over and over and over again until you get it and you level up and escape. It's no different than a video game. Until you are able to pass it, you're going to be
in that same course over and over again. Your storm is going to continue raining down on you. It is a crash course. It is a test full of lessons. And if you want to flunk out, and if you're okay with it, and if you just sit in the rain complaining about it, then okay. But you will be retested over and over and over again until you grasp the lessons and you see the silver lining, and you use that adversity to figure some things out about yourself, figure some things out about other people. Who do you need to cut out? Who do you need to gravitate towards? Are you maintaining friendships with people who are thinking so small that you're shrinking yourself to the point where, you know what, they think small. I don't want to come off too big in this room or in this arena. So let me just go ahead and shrink myself. No, if you are staying around people who think on a lower vibration, then you are constantly going to vibrate right around in which that area. Because that's all that they can understand. And those are the only types of people you are surrounding yourself with. So it's okay to make friends and to network with people who have this vision, and they see things in a bigger way. And by default, it doesn't even have to be directly. They inspire you to do something more and to do something bigger with your life. So evaluating your life and where you are and really wanting to pass the test of the storm that is consistently reissued to you. You failed this test 3 times within 4 months. You need to sit down by yourself and really study, how am I going to get out of this? What are these common denominators? What's pulling me down? What could be bringing me up? Am I carrying too much dead weight behind me? And sometimes dead weight can come in the form of extremely depressed friends who have no desire to get out of it. And they want you to stay depressed with them. They want you to be down and out with them. And if you start doing too much or start doing too much better than them, they kind of start acting funny. So you shrink yourself to be more acceptable to the people that you refuse to let go of. You might have known them for 8 years or so, but it might be time to let go, because everybody cannot come with you on your journey to greatness. And some people are truly bringing you down. Some people you got to love and associate with from a distance. If you talking to people on the phone and everything they talk about all the time is just like, it's so heavy that when you get off the phone with them, you're depressed. When they call you like, oh, should I answer this or not? Because I know all they're going to be talking about is heavy stuff. There's nothing motivating. There's nothing uplifting. There's nothing inspiring about what they're going to be talking about to me. And so you contemplate answering the phone, but maybe you just do. Do you feel better when you finish that exchange with them people? So think about your storm and everything that it entails. Your friends, your acquaintances, your colleagues, and how much access you give them to you. And how that affects what you're capable of doing or lack thereof on a daily basis. If you don't function within your purpose, you're going to be subject to dysfunction. And subjecting yourself to dysfunction is sometimes repeatedly giving access to your dysfunctional associates and friends and family members, knowing that there's nothing good that's going to come out of it and how it affects you. And I know for me personally, there would be some family members and a handful of associates or friends who, after I spent time talking to them or spending time with them, it would take me 2 hours to decompress when I got home. I would have to call somebody else and decompress for 2 hours based on all of the baggage and the heaviness and the lack of positivity that they did not give when I went around them. It's just always a shitload of complaints, nothing more. They're the victim of everything in their life, and it's been that way for a year now. And if it takes me 2 hours to decompress after I talk to you, then you are not a benefit to me in any way. And I'm sorry, but I cannot keep giving you access to me. Those 2 hours could have been for me to spend time for self-care, for me to strategize my channel, my business, my real life. So, you know, you get tested the most when you're approaching a new level. And sometimes you don't even understand that you are being tested. Sometimes being tested is testing whether you have the ability to say no and set a healthy boundary with somebody. Hey, I got to go. I can't stay on the phone with you right now. I have something to do. Or, hey, listen, if you don't want to talk about solutions to these problems that you talk to me about day in and day out, then I have to go. I can't spend 3 hours on the phone with you today listening to you mope and groan. that's the sticky note of the day. If it resonated with you, be sure to comment down below. I'm doing me, so I know it's real. But that was today's sticky note. Let me know how you felt about it. Y'all know the sticky notes. I give the sticky notes from what I'm going through in life. It's not me preaching at y'all or talking to y'all. It's actually stuff that I'm going through in my life as well. And y'all know I craft these sticky notes myself. If you follow me on Twitter, you see the sticky notes. If you're in the Discord, you know I put the sticky notes up all the time. So that one was really personal to me. I'm in a space where, you know what, I'm not going to share all that, but just know that that sticky note is very personal to me and for me. And it's very specific. And sometimes I go back and I listen to these videos and I go to the sticky note aspect of it, and it breathes life into me again, because sometimes you can learn a lesson and sometimes you can forget it. Sometimes I'll go back to sticky notes because I'll type out my sticky notes, or I'll write my sticky notes in my journal, and I'll go back and I'll look at sticky notes from 3 years ago. And I'm like, I needed that right now. I learned that. I typed that up. That was a lesson that I learned 3 years ago, but somehow the lesson faded away. And I need to relearn that all over again. And so, yeah, these sticky notes are really near and dear to my heart. It's the most precious part of my format and bringing these shows to y'all. We got the celebrity stuff, the celebrity birthdays, real Black news that affects everyday people like you and me. We got the Black excellence, we got the Black history, we got all that. But my favorite and my most near and dear segment of my show is the sticky note, because I craft those myself and they come from a real place. They come from my life and my experiences and what I've seen, and things that I know I've needed to change, things that were difficult for me to change, things that I need to relearn. Yeah, they're real. They're real. They don't come from anybody else's motivational quotes, but me. Okay. So that is the sticky note. Listen, y'all, listen. Be sure to tag me in all of your favorite trending topics on Instagram and Twitter. And listen, do me a favor. However you can, be sure to have a good day on purpose. I told y'all that in the beginning of this video, and I'm going to tell you again today. Be sure to have a good day on purpose. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have no clue how much I appreciate it. Thank you for checking the community tab if you haven't already. Thank you for subscribing to the backup channel. Don't forget to do something to decompress today. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on all of the neighborhoods that we stopped through today, aka the topics that we spoke on. Make sure to keep it sticky and real. Also, another thing that y'all really need to make sure y'all do is, let me pull this up. Outside of subscribing to, outside of joining the membership, right? Because the membership, there are a lot of perks that and things that we do backstage. But if you are looking for a true makeup guru to follow, you definitely need to follow Deeper Than Skin Deep. Let her know where you came from. Let her know who told you, who got you over there. Okay. But high-end skincare and makeup tutorials, it is the very first link in the description box. I also just dropped it down below in the comment section. So make sure you follow Deeper Than Skin Deep. She really is going to give you, before you spend your money on high-end makeup or even drugstore makeup, because she does talk about drugstore makeup too. Before you spend your money, take a visit over there to Deeper Than Skin Deep and let her tell you what these products are about, and let her show you exactly how she uses these things. Okay. So that is Deeper Than Skin Deep. I appreciate all of you all being here today. I'll see y'all a little bit later. People who are channel member, who are already part of the Backstage Sticky Squad, we will talk a bit later. We'll do some posts a little later. And let me just make sure I haven't missed anybody in the comments. Okay, so I got to all the super chats. Make sure I got to all the cash apps. Okay. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Not y'all just sending a message out, baby. It's the 18th. Okay. So that is that. I came in the right time for your message. Awesome. I'm glad you could come in for the message. Definitely, definitely. That message definitely came from the heart, child. And part of me was talking to myself, for real, for real. For myself. All right. So listen, if you haven't already taken a moment to support the channel by subscribing, definitely make sure you do so. Don't forget to thumbs up or down. Honestly, either way, I do appreciate it. But don't forget to hit the notification bell. The notification bell is very important so that you don't miss out on any of this celebrity or trending syrup, because you know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. Drop some of them pancake emojis down below. And don't forget to stay beautiful, black, and blessed until the next time. I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side. I'm going to catch y'all on Twitter. I'm going to catch y'all on Instagram. And I'll see y'all a little bit later. Deuces.
But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.